They're trying to force you out.
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around the club.
At the senior executive level.
Yes, that I felt betrayed.
And you think they're trying to get rid of you?
Honestly, I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but listen, I don't care, people should listen the truth. Yes, I feel betrayed, and I felt that some people that don't want me here, not only this year, but last year too. I don't know what's going on, but since the Sir Alex Ferguson left, I saw not evolution in the club. The progress was zero. For example, we have an interesting point that how the club as Manchester United, after suck Ole, they bring sport directive Ralph Ragnick, which is something that nobody understands.
Welcome back to the Top 6 show, sponsored today by NordVPN. Get their VPN provider downloaded now. Make sure you're protected when you're using the internet online. Also, great and amazing discounts. I'll explain them to you a little bit later that you can get using their brilliant service. I'm joined tonight by a brilliant panel of guests. Have Hope is here with us. We're going to be talking Graham Potter on this show and Chelsea's defeat. We've got Kaz here, of course, to talk about the fallout from the fallout from Ronaldo's interview with Arsenal fan Piers Morgan. We are also talking Liverpool today, back on the rise, Darwin with a brace, and of course Tottenham. They came from behind again in the Premier League, a dramatic 4-3 victory at home against Leeds United. And of course, we're going to touch on the best team in the country right now, my adopted team. We're talking about Arsenal. Egal is here to obviously chat about that. But evening, gentlemen, how are we all doing? We all good? We all good?
Yeah, man, alive, healthy, and wealthy. Well, no, alive, healthy.
No,
Yo, George,
no, good.
killed in the comments. They're calling you Tesco Drake.
Well, I'm going into the top 4 comfy, just as I said last week. I'm going into the World Cup Christmas in top 4, so we can only be.
We won 3 games in a row for the first time, so I'm feeling like an actual football team again.
That's just false chest, man.
No. So shout out to Charles Darwin, man, because I called him the Uruguayan fruit seller. But that fruit seller, he's actually been contributing and actually been doing some stuff. So shout out to Darwin. I mean, he's still a trash player, but still.
He's a good striker.
Yeah, but have you seen him try to do a step over?
I'm going to step in. I know everyone likes to flow, but we are going to have a structure on the top 6. We're going to come back to that later. No better place to start, though. It's been voted for 71% of the vote so far. We saw it in the intro. Cristiano Ronaldo, explosive interview, expose, essentially. This reminds me of Martin Bashir and Princess Diana. It is almost that level. The internet is broken. No one cares about the start of the World Cup. The analytics are going crazy. This is the biggest piece of news, I think, from a social media point of view ever. This interview has broken the internet, legit. What are we saying about this, though? Like, on a real level, he's obviously called out problems at the football club. He's called out Ralph Ragnick. He's called Wayne Rooney ugly and fat, and which is very Donald Trump-esque. But he's also, of course, slammed Eric Ten Hag and said, I don't give you no respect because you don't give me any respect. Who wants to start with this?
I'll start.
Okay, no, Carl should start. As the United fan, you should start. Let's go for it.
I don't know. I've been very reactionary with it, but I got a feeling this was the interview that was done at the end of August that was meant to come out, and it's only come out now. But the fact, for one, he's done it with Piers Morgan. The fact, two, he's slating someone's physical appearance and everything. 3, onto Ten Hag about disrespect and all this kind of stuff. Maybe we won't actually know it. It's going to be clipped up. It's going to be made to be, obviously, for guys like me or anybody else that want to react to it. I want to see what else he has to say, because the only part I've got interested that's for me is the Glazers part and the club and him exposing them just a little bit more. So I want to see what he has to say about that. But other than that, he's not my goat no more. The guy causes too many problems. I don't have to hide in the closet no more. I've always preferred Messi anyways. But I hate to say it, he is one of our biggest legends. He's created a lot of memories for me. But the fact that he's done this 2-3 times now, I think enough is enough. I feel like this was.
Kaz,
I feel like Man United.
Kaz, let me interject a second. Either you're not talking into your mic, it's a condenser mic. You've got to really talk into it. Talk into it for me.
Wait, is it gone off? It should have changed.
Yeah, but you know that mic, you're meant to actually have it like up close to your mouth. Where all podcast mics. Yeah, it's not coming through. It's a little bit teeny.
Can you hear me now?
Not through.
Yeah, no, you sound distant.
Sorry, guys, tap the mic. Let me just tap the mic and see if we can hear it. No, your mic ain't working. Yeah, we'll come back to you in a second, bro. We'll come back to you.
Show, man.
I don't know. Anyway, look, well, I'm going to mute you and we'll go. What are you saying? What are you saying, Egal, about this? How have you looked at this from a rival's point of view?
First things first, I am so happy that I'm not involved in any of the drama going on right now. I'm seeing Chelsea fans going through stuff. I'm seeing Manchester United fans going through stuff, and I'm just sitting pretty not involved. So that's my first impression. I'm like, thank God it's not my club involved. Second of all, when I'm looking at it as a football fan, I'm saying to myself, we already knew what was going on. No, there's no innocent party in this. Ronaldo is at fault for not being like transparent and telling them what was going to be said in the interview. Manchester United could have let the guy go, and they could have got rid of his contract a long time ago. Ten Hag is the only person I say is innocent in this. The players are innocent in this, but the Manchester United board and Cristiano Ronaldo, they both have themselves to blame for this situation. He came back. He's still there. He's getting paid an absorbent amount of money. If he really wanted to leave, he could have done something about it. And if the board really wanted him gone, they could have done something about it. I hold them both accountable for the situation they found themselves in.
Can you hear me now, by the way?
There we go. That's better.
It was, you know, my mic wasn't switched on through that. You know, when you go into settings, you press the audio, it was coming through my camera for some reason. I don't know why, my webcam. That was such a rookie error, but.
And you should also have those mics up like in front of you, directly in front of you.
Yeah, this is why I have this here as well. It's been blessed from here, really. Like, well, I can have it close to my mouth if you want it here, Terry. Does that make you happy?
We'll work on it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But listen, Egal, I get where you're coming from. This interview is broken into parts for me. So what he said about, and this is what I found really interesting, just the comments on the video I put out today. You'll see someone say, how can you have a go at Ronaldo? He's called out the Glazers. I'm like, no, I praised him for that point. I say praised him. I'm happy that someone of his profile is calling out problems at the club. When I talk about our training facilities are in the dark ages, relatively speaking, and that creates poor performance on the football pitch. Of course it does. You've seen the difference in Newcastle's ability to play, and a lot of that is the improvements that they're making behind the scenes, as well as the improvements they're making on the football pitch and in personnel. You then get the elements of what he's saying about Ten Hag. And the bit that really made me laugh, you see at the beginning clip with Piers Morgan, the manager and some people upstairs are trying to get me out. I'm like, bro, before Ten Hag arrived, you informed the club you were leaving. So I don't understand how it's plausible for Ten Hag to be trying to force a player out against his will who has handed in a transfer request. So for me, when I look at this overall, there's some good bits, there's some bad bits, and there's others that I'm not going to give an opinion on yet. The stuff about his daughter, the stuff about the Rooney thing. As much as it's a dig, we haven't heard how he said it. He could be laughing and joking like it's his mate and banter him a little bit, and I want to wait to hear that before I judge it. The stuff with his daughter and the board members that weren't believing him in the summer, I want more information on that. But calling out Ten Hag for saying he wanted to get rid of me when you were the man that put in a transfer request. If you're a United fan and you're buying this, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. You can't be forcing a player out who's trying to leave. Egal was right. I predicted this in the summer, and I said it a number of times. If we stick with him, if we don't get him out, he'll become a problem for Erik Ten Hag. He truly will, and we're now seeing that. And I'm glad it's happened though, because it will now mean he'll leave. There's no way he's kicking the ball for us again. He could even have his contract terminated. The club is seeking legal advice on that now. And hopefully we are seeing the end of this version of Cristiano Ronaldo at Man United and better things to come in the future.
Can I go again? My bad.
Yeah, go on.
Can I quickly go? What I was trying to say is my whole, so technically what you've just said there, either Roy Keane is a liar now or Ronaldo's the liar, because Roy Keane said that he had transfers to go here, there, and everywhere in the summer, that he could have went somewhere. But Ronaldo's saying he's being forced out, which don't make no sense for me. So I get what you mean. The Rooney part, surely surely he must be having a laugh. But if he's not, that means he can't take constructive criticism from someone that's been at the top level. And yeah, he might be as a little bit older than him, but or is he a little bit younger than him? One or the other. But like, people age differently. People go on to do different things. You know, like, who cares what you're doing, mate? Not every 38-year-old is doing what you're doing. He's probably like one of the only few 38-year-olds or 37-year-olds in the world that keep their body in tip-top condition and everything. So I just wonder, yeah, this is my thinking behind it slightly. If he was playing week in, week out, would this interview have came out? I don't think it would. It's the fact that he's made it all about him. It's absolutely pissed me right off about it, because I felt hurt yesterday on my own stream. I was generally like thinking like, bro, like, why? Like, things are going so well, but I wonder if this was this the interview that was meant to come out in August by any chance?
It can't have been, because he
It's all
mentioned
recent.
he mentioned the Tottenham game in there, so it.
Oh,
has to
okay,
have
so
been in the last month, yeah.
So he's done it now. He's disrespected the club. But as soon as he mentioned Ten Hag and anything around that, that's where it's done for me, man. And honestly, yeah, like, I can't. I'm just ashamed. Why it has to be my legend that has to do this out of all people?
The thing is,
honestly,
it doesn't.
Why are you laughing, bro? Don't laugh, fam. You ain't got no legend.
Kaz, this is the thing. You don't even need to say that. He's still a legend. Like,
yeah, of course.
And the reason I say that is, go back through the history that Roy Keane had with the club. Even his first contract renewal at the club was very, very tumultuous. These things happen. It's normal. So it doesn't change how I feel about Ronaldo. I still love Ronaldo. I know why he's doing it. He's engineering a move away. Man United said no because they didn't believe they were being offered a reasonable amount of money for him in the transfer market. And even at 37...
But to do it, Piers Morgan, out of all
Does it
people,
not change his
Piers
name, though?
Morgan.
Terry, don't you think
Hang
this
on,
taints his name?
Sorry, go on, Jules. Go on, Jules. What are you saying?
I was just going to say, don't you think this taints his name, though? Because the first time he left you guys, he sort of forced himself out. He started being all this horrible person, just like what he's doing now, being this narcissistic and making it all about himself. He done this the first time when he wanted to leave Man United, and now he's doing it again. Like a whole 13, 14 years later.
No, but Jordan, it's
37-year-old. It just shows
it's different,
that the person
though.
hasn't grown. It is different. The situation is different. We all understand that, but it just shows that him as a person hasn't grown. He's not changed, and he's going to continue to do this wherever he is. It's going to make it all about himself.
No. But you know why I disagree, Jordan? Is because, see, back in Onan and so forth, everyone knew that and it's the same thing we know in football. When Real Madrid come calling, that's where you need to go. Remember, he's Portuguese, so he's of that kind of like Spanish speaking. So you always knew that whatever he did, even Fergie admitted that, look, it's Real Madrid. This is your dream. I won't stand in your way. And this is a guy who won the Ballon, has just won the Ballon d'Or, and is now a young and up-and-coming talent. Fast forward to, we're dealing with a geriatric. We're literally dealing with the Portuguese Gerd Müller. So this geriatric right now, who can hardly run, can hardly move, and relies on tap-ins, is now trying to sort of say that, Tom, I don't know why you're covering your face. I'm speaking the facts here. Is not trying to now say that, oh my gosh, I've been disrespected. This looks so bad on this clown, because here's the thing. United just won without you. They've been playing well without you. And when you look, because all the dots connect, when you just look at all of the comments on Instagram via his sister, it's either him or him acting as a sister on Instagram and so forth. This guy has a huge ego. Rio even admitted that's like, apparently he sends him like a message saying that, oh, does that guy really think that Messi is better than me? But this is the key that people are missing. A certain group created this monster. So as much as you want to look at Cristiano, the guys are really blame at his fans, as in his real extreme fans, because they keep on enabling him. Because there are still guys that I've spoken to who say that, nah, Cristiano is right. Because people have gone so far to say that, what has Ten Hag done? Ten Hag wouldn't even be half the person Cristiano was.
And that's a great point. I want to play everyone this video clip from Graham Souness today. And I want everyone just to listen to what he said here.
No, I'm not interested. With all due respect, I'm not interested in what people are phoning in and saying about this Ronaldo situation.
First mad thing about that is he's not interested in what the people that pay to phone in to talk sport have got to say. That's the first crazy bit.
They're the lifeblood of it. James Harrison, United fan. Ronaldo's the past, Ten Hag's the future. Simple. No player's bigger than the club.
I'll come back to it in 5 years' time. No one will remember Ten Hag.
See, and he keeps saying this. And the reason I wanted to say that there is he's come out a few times when Ronaldo was being insubordinate a few weeks back. What Souness and a lot of other pros said that were defending Ronaldo is Ronaldo's going to be in 100. This is true. In 100 years' time, the world of football will remember Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't know if the world of football will remember Ten Hag. But for me, that's the crazy justification. That is what he's diehard fanboys say as well. But Ronaldo is Ronaldo, the highest goal scorer in the history of the game. Who is Ten Hag to tell him what to do? You can't allow that. You can't allow it to ride in your football club. Ronaldo isn't the 700 career goal scoring striker anymore. He isn't the Ronaldo of 5, 10, 15 years ago. He makes Man United worse. And we did win without him yesterday. The crazy thing is, after that Chelsea and Spurs debacle, we then played 5 games where he was in the starting lineup. And in those games, this is the craziest part about it. We scored 5 goals across those 5 games, lost our unbeaten record, and really struggled. In the 2 games subsequently since he's been quote-unquote ill, we've scored 6 goals, progressed in the cup, and won that final game. Yes, it was a little dramatically. Yes, we weren't at our greatest yesterday. But 6 goals in 2 games versus 5 goals in 5 games with him, with a defeat in the midst of it, and a draw, I believe, as well. This guy he is a legend of the game. He's a legend of Man United, but he's absolutely past his best. But he's living in this is the biggest issue. He's living in denial, and he doesn't want to accept it. He doesn't want to accept.
Can I add something as well, Terry? Real quick, Terry,
just real quick, and it comes to cats. Like the whole denial. That's why I look at his fans. If every time you go on and everything, people still think you're the best, you're at your peak, you're one of the greatest, and they still think that you're that 25, 26-year-old. You believe you're on a hype. This guy said during the international break that, I'm going to be at Euro 2024. What? You can hardly move on so forth. But he announced to the Portuguese guys that, yes, I plan to be at Euro 2024. And that is because people are buying into this whole crazy myth that this guy is still at his peak.
Right. And this is what you get. Terry might as well wear a Glazer in t-shirt. See, this is what people are doing. And you're not going to...
Don't bother.
No, you need to... What I will say to YouTube is always respond to your audience, otherwise they fuck off to other channels. Very key lesson. Even the ones that are being rude. I'm not Glazer in. I can support him in terms of that, but moaning about not being picked, moaning about being forced out the club, when you're not good enough anymore, you're not good enough anymore. That isn't being Glazer in. In fact, I'm frustrated that we kept him. I'm frustrated that Ten Hag's request wasn't allowed to go through, and that was probably due to the fact that there was no commercial replacement for him, someone that wasn't going to sell the shirt numbers, get the eyes and whatever else on the game. The fact that the biggest content creator in the world right now has flown across the world twice this year to see him play and hasn't got to see him. Like, that's a big thing for Man United. Why do you think Man United hosted this guy in their boxes at the grounds? Why do you think Man United paid for that? Because they wanted the attention that comes with it because of him and Cristiano Ronaldo. It's all about money, my friend. So if that makes me Glazer in, fair play to you. Sorry, but I'm going to do these comments. So I've got to do these comments. Sorry. Neeks here says Erik Ten Hag has benefited from everything that has happened with Ronaldo. His position is now stronger. I think that's a fair point.
I think so.
I think it's a fair point there by Neeks. Terry, how do you know he wasn't trying to? How do you know he wasn't trying to leave as they were forcing him out? That's a good point. They could have made the first move to push him out. I'll be interested to hear that if that's the way around. I believe that.
No. I think he's saying forcing him to stay. I think he means forcing him to stay.
No, I think he means maybe his agent was only looking for a new club because Ten Hag was forcing him out. But that's fair enough. What are you crying for? So that's not disrespectful. That's because you're not good enough. What you should have done if you didn't really want to leave is when you've had an opportunity to play, show the manager you're still good enough, and you didn't do that. Ronaldo said Carrington's gym was a pure gym.
Yeah, pure. Those guys are expensive, man. Pure gym.
It's awful. That's £25 a month. That's not expensive.
Yes. No. It's gone up. So maybe it's different now, but it was super expensive.
I'm reserving judgment until I see the whole interview. People are basing their opinions on short clips, one line of text. Let's wait for the whole interview, in my opinion. I think the one thing that's dangerous about that, though, is Ronaldo still. This is one thing fans can't get their heads around, and I think it's a lot of young people that haven't had real jobs yet. And that's, he doesn't have any right to say it whether it's true or not. There's clauses in all of your employment contracts the state you can't discuss internal policies and going-ons on the internet. You couldn't go out tonight, George or Egal, and tweet about your company negatively and expect to have a job in the morning.
No, hell no.
I was gonna.
Yeah, sorry.
Can I ask you Can I ask you this question, Terry? Because you'd be more clued up to me about this stuff than myself. I saw something from Mundo, the Spanish newspaper. Apparently, there's some sort of article faulting in some regulations or something that Man United can legally terminate its contract without compensation. Is that right, or to your knowledge, or anyone's knowledge here?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what clauses you broke. But if you break a clause in your employment contract, there are typically grounds to terminate it. But of course, United need to be careful because it's a very expensive process to get wrong. But yes, there is definitely grounds. I spoke to a journalist last night that said his view is, without even speaking to anybody, that United would probably look to terminate the contract. But if they can terminate it without mutual consent, it means they don't have to make a payout to him. It means no more money.
That's good then. That's why we're winning anyways. Look, we wanted him to go in January. He's made this mess himself. We want another striker. That means we're getting another striker. There you go. Do I trust this club to get another striker? No. But should we? Yeah. And this makes it all the easier. So we're winning either way. So he gets what he wants. We got what we get what we want. He gets what he wants. Done. We don't even have to spend no money in it, and we save money. That's it. Done.
But you know what I'll say though before I go to the guy is that
it's your problem now. He's going to Chelsea.
No. Oh, hell no. That ain't happening. Hell no.
Yes, he is.
No. So basically, United, I feel that United have to terminate his contract January 1st. Doesn't matter how much it costs and everything, just for perception-wise, terminates Cristiano's contract come January 1st. Now, here's the thing though. That's why this guy needs to have a good World Cup. Because if he doesn't have a good World Cup and it's like mediocre, please tell me who is going to buy a 38-year-old? Which top seed? I'll say this again. Chelsea are rebuilding. Don't give me any of that Cristiano to Chelsea crap. That crap ain't happening.
Let me. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about potential landing spots. And one of the landing spots that I heard that was very interesting. Imagine Ronaldo going back to Real Madrid as a bit part player, not as important as he used to be before, but now going there as like someone who's going to be coming on occasionally, playing sometimes.
He'll never accept that.
I don't think he accepts that.
And also, Piers ain't even going to do that. Piers has already said, nah, I ain't signing that dude.
Let's be honest, though. He doesn't want to go to the MLS. He doesn't want to be a part of a team that is not going to be competing in the Champions League. He wants to be in a team competing in the Champions League. He wants to be in the Champions League come February.
It's certainly going to be an interesting one to see where he ends up. David here says some of our fans praising Ronaldo for calling out the Glazers when his comments don't move the needle. Ragnick, Jose, Ibrahim said the same. Yeah,
it's not the same. It's not the same.
He didn't say anything new.
David, big up David. Obviously, I know who that is, but I'm just saying, like, but at the same time, they do. But he needs to, and I think Piers Morgan confirmed that he needs to directly say the Glazers, not the club. He needs to say something directly about the Glazers. But even then, you don't do some good while you're doing damage at the same time. Whatever, I don't mind it, but it's still damaging.
Question though, this is what it comes down to. Though, what he says is great for profile, same as the protests and all these things. But did anyone see one of Elon Musk's tweets yesterday?
No.
Somebody some guy. I don't know who he is. I think he's from Saudi Arabia. He's startup. Sam is his name. He tweeted. Big guy, verified dude, said, like, I find it funny that people are doubting this man, Elon Musk, who could fly rockets into orbit, deliver payloads, and then land them back on Earth side by side. And they are cursing him on this platform. Essentially, people calling Elon Musk stupid. It's weird, right? Elon Musk replied saying, I hope they keep cursing me on Twitter as it increases advertising revenue. And I screenshot it and said, Elon Musk is showing Man United fans the only way to rid the club of the Glazers. And most of the replies were, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is Elon Musk doesn't care if you slag him off on Twitter because the more of you that use it, the more money he can make out of it. Ironically, doesn't matter what Ronaldo says about the Glazers, doesn't matter what the protests do, doesn't matter how many games we get called off. If fans keep pumping money into the football club and using the services, they're staying. And that's why all the protests, all the chants, all of it is immaterial until we do something tangible. The best way to, if you're someone that's on Twitter and you hate that Elon Musk has bought it, leave. That's the only way to damage Elon Musk. Continuing to use the product and moaning about it makes him richer or makes a company more successful. But there we go.
But are you telling Manchester United fans to stop speaking about Man United or just the Glazers?
No, I said stop giving them money. You need to speak about them because you need there to be noise, but you stop giving them money. It's same as any business, Egal. If you want to make a business go bankrupt, what do? Take your money away from it or give it your money?
No, you take it away.
Yeah. And we've got to bankrupt it for them to leave. They're only here to make money. It's this getting rid of the Glazers is the easiest thing in the world if people had the courage and love for the club to do it. Or that they weren't being selfish with it. Watching Terry contort himself, all matters to Ronaldo is his children. If Ten Hag denies him his basic freedom to see his daughter, afford him no kindness, slag him and doubt him. Now listen, that isn't what the accusation was. There is nothing. Ronaldo says in the interview, if you read it, I know it's in the Sun, but it's in the Sun. I had to read it. He stated that somebody at board level didn't believe that his daughter was sick. At nowhere in this interview, my friend, does he say that Erik Ten Hag said I couldn't spend time with my daughter. Do not, for me, my friend, be very careful with how you're twisting that. Wasn't said at all. Chelsea fans look shook. LL. Okay, you know, we'll come back to the Chelsea ones a little bit later in the stream. 20 minutes in, not a mention of his daughter. My manager akin to Eric regarding my daughter. I behave far worse. Getting have hope on this show tells us all we need to know. No integrity, Terry. I don't really get the bit about have hope, but like I did mention his daughter right at the top of the show, and we stated that I wanted more information on that. But equally, you've done the same thing, Chris, as the previous guy. Nothing has been released yet that says that Ten Hag denied him time with his daughter, challenged him about his daughter at all. Now, if that comes out and Ten Hag basically said it's a disgrace that you're not at preseason, I don't care if your daughter's sick, my opinion on the matter would be different. But that hasn't been suggested in any format at all. So I don't see how anyone could bring it up. Talks about no respect, yet no show, and try to force a move during preseason. Left the game at halftime and refused to come on as a sub. Some of that's certainly true there, Joshua. Ronaldo is Glazer out. Who pays his salary? Well, that's the ironic thing, isn't it? The Glazers are terrible, but can I have my £500,000 a week?
Yeah, $500,000 a week.
I love it. How much does this distract Erik Ten Hag and the mess within valuable training time with a squad during the World Cup break? Loving this as a rival. See, I look at it the other way. I think this is better. I think this is good for Man United. I think it's the squad. I think it will galvanize things. The manager's getting his way. That's why Ronaldo's kicking off. And for the first time, in the first time post Fergie, a manager has won a battle with one of our commercial signings. Every other time, the commercial signing's been told yes, and the manager's been told no. So for me, if you're a rival and you're loving this, I think you're reading it really wrong, in my opinion. Really, really wrong. This is going to be like Aubameyang leaving Arsenal. It's going to be very, very similar indeed. I know people want Cristiano Ronaldo to be bashed, but I hate to break it to you all that there's a lot of people like me that will pick Ronaldo over United, and that's a fact. But
then you're just a weird bastard. That's what you want.
Well, he's not weird. He's just a Ronaldo fan. He's not a Man United fan. It's. I get it.
If he's not, I was going off the base that he's a Man United fan.
Well, you can't be a Man United fan and pick a player over Man United. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's impossible.
Still weirdo.
It goes against the definition of being a fanatic for your club. If you can't get on board with the directors of the organization, you are employed with them, then it is in everyone's best interest if you leave. Could not agree with that more. Todd B wanted CR7, but Tuchel told Todd to allow it. He did. Todd B!
And now it's in Potter's contract that Ronaldo has to come, and you can't say nothing.
He's not coming anywhere near the club.
What you don't get is the more you slate Cristiano Ronaldo, the more people gravitate towards him. It's the Donald Trump effect. That's why he's the most loved.
So then he should never be criticised then, because it'll get people to support. No, you can rightly sit there and say he's done something stupid. No way in hell should he be doing this interview. Not a chance. You're still employed by that football club. All this is you. At the end of the day, Ronaldo. No one knows what went on in the summer. I think he wanted out, but no one actually wanted to buy him because no one wanted to pay his wages, and he wouldn't come down on his wages because he still believes he's that top footballer, which he no longer is. So until one of them factors changes, Ronaldo is stuck, and that's why I think United have to terminate it, get rid of it, and have a clean slate, because this is a massive thing if Ten Hag comes out of this as the winner. Because the squad will understand that they're not on Ronaldo's side here.
Absolutely. Speaking of the squad, though, very good win from United yesterday, as in crucial 3 points. Tough away game where, you know, Fulham really could have taken it in the second half, but United held in. And young Garnacho. I want to get some thoughts on Garnacho here, because this kid, for me, and I'm very biased as a United fan, this kid looks special. There's quality and there's output from his debut, pretty much. Literally from his debut. Played 5 games, 4 goal contributions as an 18-year-old in the hardest league in the world. Can't be bad.
No. But see, that's why going up against the interview, Cristiano looks so bad, because literally you're seeing the past and you're seeing the future. You know, this is a young kid, super exciting. Argentina brings on the South American vibe, and you're not seeing that kind of goal. He could now really add to bringing in Martial, Rashford, and so forth. So it's like this is such a huge win for Ten Hag, because you can now actually build a team in your image. Attackers that know how to move, are mobile, are quick, and there's actually more fluidity in the attack, which you're not going to get with the freaking geriatrics. So I think United, if they can get some good additions in January alongside this whole Garnancho kid, this could be the start of something very good for United after Van Gaal, Moyes, Ragnarok, and so forth. So
have patience. That's what I would say, because don't expect the moon from the kid. He's still very young. Understand that there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations.
Pause, Egal. No, if you
I'm
think
coming from
I'm
an
not,
act
if you
store.
think,
Cass,
if you think,
Cass, we're not hearing it from you, bro.
Pause.
Not you.
Hey,
Just
if
last
you
week
think,
said he wasn't ready.
if you think I'm not gonna
Yes,
hype up
what
this
about-
kid, if you think I'm not gonna gas it and say he's gonna take that
You
number
can hype
7
him
shirt,
up. You can hype
dunk
him up
on
as much as
Arsenal,
you want.
because I'm gonna do the same shit you did with Martinelli, who's been living off that Chelsea goal for 3 damn years,
1 second.
and that's what you man went off. How about that?
1 second. 1 second. Hear me
Go
out.
on, let Gal finish a minute. Let Gal finish.
Hear me out. All I'm saying is, if you guys do what you guys were doing last week, which you're saying he wasn't ready yet, and then he scores a winner against Fulham, and
Who
now
said that?
last week?
You did.
Literally,
I didn't
you
say
did.
that. No, I didn't. Go
Yes.
get up then, mate, because I never did that.
I will do it.
He's
right
one of the
now.
better
Go on.
players. He was the one of the
Gal,
better players
Gal,
last week.
Right, just very
I'll do
quickly,
it.
Gal, I want Gal to finish his sentence. I want to know what Gal's got to say here. Let him finish, please, guys, please.
This is not even a state from hate or anything else. I think you guys got a decent player there, but right now, all I'm saying is have a level of patience, because what you're going to do is you're going to build the kid up to something that he's not, and then when you don't see him performing to the level you expect him to perform at, you're then going to have a lot of people throwing hate at him. So in my opinion, I'm not even coming from a level of hate. I think you guys got a good talent, but protect him. Don't go crazy about it. Don't go overboard, because guess what's going to happen? The hate is going to come. And at this moment in time in his development, all he needs is nurturing and good development. And what we haven't seen from Manchester United in a couple of years now is a young player actually get developed to the level where you can say this is a superstar or a star. That hasn't happened.
You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but this coming from you, Egal, of all people, right? And you, especially as an Arsenal fan base, because you're representing the Arsenal fan base, biggest hypocrites ever, bro. Because whenever it comes to young players, you're exactly the same. Everyone does it. Everyone does it to the young. You're saying do this. Look, Ten Hag can do it. No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. But you're right. But you're a hypocrite. No. But you're right. No, you're right in everything you said. But you're just a damn hypocrite, bro. Because at the end of the day, we all do it. Because you all do it. We all do it. We can't help ourselves. As football fans,
you did it with Alanga 2 months.
No, I never. Oh my god. No, I never, because I never picked up Alanga.
Maybe you did it, but your fans
okay
did.
then. Gal, you do this all the time. You always say you without context or no receipts or nothing, my guy. You do this all the time. You always do this. You always say, I see fans. I see all this. You don't see shit. You don't see shit. You're just a waffle job, man.
It's not going to change.
Can I just reference the conversation we had last week?
Go on.
Final point. This is not coming from a place of hate. It's simply saying protect your young players and make sure they develop properly before you start putting them in conversations which they don't.
Why didn't you do that with Martinelli, my guy?
Bro, you want to know something? Martinelli's special and he's showing it this season. Bukayo Saka's special and he's showing it this season.
Another one.
He's 17 years old. Protect
another
him
one.
Before he starts being put in a situation
the gal's spitting.
They don't deserve to be.
Yeah, I know, but don't do that. You're just shameless.
Let's be real, Cass. I remember the show. You're not gonna tell me I didn't hear this from your mouth, because after the big game in Europa League, it was Garnacho.
Yeah.
And he played against Villa. You guys got pumped 3-1. Then you said he's a kid. He's not ready. He's just not ready for the.
No one said that. No one said he wasn't. No one said that.
You know what? He's gonna have these up. You said it, bro.
That.
You said this.
No, I never. No, I never said that. Because if anything, I said go to the stream when I was there. Yeah, my guy. guys.
It's fine. I'll get the clip up and I'll send it to you after the stream. We'll do it.
Go on, do it then, because if anything, it wasn't Garnacho. It wasn't. No one talked to about the attacking lineup, my G.
But
No,
so he
we all said it
plays
was-
against Villa. He plays against Villa in the week,
Oh
and then
my
he plays
God.
now. And then it's Garnacho's the big thing again. He's the star boy. We can all see the talent. We can all see that he's a good player, and we can all see that he's a phenomenal technical player. He's gonna be someone big, but let's take time, Man United fans, please. Like, he's literally just come on the scene. He's just starting to get his chance. Let him build into the team. Just like Egal said, give him at least this season to really
nothing like
mold
that, though,
himself
man.
before
You're
people start saying
just
star
liars,
boy. They
fam.
start saying the next big thing and
I
start
won't call him
putting
star boy.
him to take over the number 7 because
Kaz, I get where you're coming from, that you hear other fan bases do it, but then be better than that. Like, for me, don't even call them out on it. Go, yeah, you're bang on right. And then when they don't do it, you get them on the reverse. Sometimes you've got to, bro, I'm going to teach you how to marinate people on social media, bro. Don't always go for the kill straight away. Do you know what I mean? That older
fair
meat,
enough.
that older meat is sometimes a little more tender. You know what I mean? A little bit nicer.
What are you trying to say?
That's what I'm saying. Slightly older meat. Let it cook a bit longer.
No, but you know what it is, Terry? Let me know what it is, Terry. Yeah, I can take that from other fans. But when it comes to typical A, typical B, I'm not having it when it comes from a hypocrite, bro, because they want to say it when it's towards our team. I'm not having it.
I get that, though. But
I will big him up.
I get
I
that.
will big him up.
I want to bring it back to Garnacho. Let's talk about Garnacho. Like, how good do you think he is, Kaz?
No, he's special and he's a kid, and I get it. And Eric Ten Hag's doing things what I've read upon, anyways, that he's nurturing properly. Like, apparently, he doesn't even have a place in a what's it called, in the changing rooms and so forth. Like, he's keeping him grounded. He's doing the right things. So on that note, I'm happy he's doing it. He's not exactly. I thought everyone probably thought he was going to start against Fulham. He bring him on. Look, he changed the game again. You know, but when I'm getting called out trying to say that I said that he was one of the problems against Villa, no, he wasn't. Everyone knows the problems against Villa. It wasn't just a single kid. It's like he was put on in that. Don't get me wrong. He probably wasn't ready to. He probably, yeah, this is what I'm saying. The thing is, he probably wasn't ready to start a game. Maybe he wasn't really ready to start a game with Aston Villa's, you know, like the size of that game and stuff. He probably shouldn't have got put in that game, and we learned from that quickly. So George, you're probably right on that part, to be fair. But he was never the problem, and he came on. He's changing the games and stuff like that. And look, he's doing his thing. He's having fun. He's living life. I think everyone loves the rawness as well of a young player as well. Comes in fearless, takes a man on. He's doing things that Marcus Rashford and other wingers should be doing. Sancho's probably looking down and thinking like, oh damn, you know, like there's always. I would say like there's good competition brewing. And if I was Marcus Rashford, if this guy like next season or even the next couple seasons, he's gonna have some good competition, you know, and he knows it, and that should brew better performances from all around, from wherever you are on the pitch, like wherever your position is. You know what I mean?
No, for me, I think, great team scoring the winning goal and everything, and of course that there's a talent there, but you have to let the kid breathe. Like, let's see what he does. Like, let's just wait until then, because at the end of the day, it's Fulham. It's Fulham. So let's see what he does in the next game and the next game and the next game, and let's just see, because you have to build a greater resume before, like, oh, this young kid can do something. The reason why everyone is talking about Pedri is because look at the amount of games he's played. Look at what he did at the Euros. Look at what he's done in the Champions League. Look at what he's done for 6, 7, 8 games. So he's built a large resume to say, oh, young kid, watch out for this young kid. With Martinelli now and everything, look at how many games he's played well, and look at how many big moments he's had. So Garnacho, all it is that, oh, this is a talent. Let's watch. Let's wait and see. And let's just see whether he fulfills things. Once he does, I say, oh my God, now he's that good and everything, it's just going to hurt him. So, you know, so.
I agree. Listen, someone said a comment I read a minute ago saying everyone's generational at Man United. And my view is this. There is generational talent in there, but there's a difference between being talented and delivering. So there's world-class talent in this player. We've already seen it. But will he become world-class? That's about his application. And Man United fans, I think we partly ruined Adnan Januzaj. Fact that after 3 good performances, he had about 32 songs. He was seen as the next everything, and I think we've done that to too many young players that have come through. We spoke earlier about Ronaldo being a bit of a monster because of his fans. Some of these young players they get fan bases so young and early because of social media. It took a lot longer in Ronaldo's day because social media didn't exist at all when he was making his debut. I'm not even sure when YouTube was even invented. Twitter didn't come around until like the late noughties, early teenies. But yeah, look, from my point of view, I think there's a great rawness in there. He's very Man United. The way he plays from a wide position is just what our club has developed for 60, 70 years in wide areas, and I'm glad we've got another player like him. But I do agree. I want his feet kept so firm on that ground, because if he can nurture this over the next few years and not follow the same pattern as so many other top academy players that we've had in recent years, there is something. One, he's special, and two, he can save you about 80, 90 million pounds in the goddamn transfer market, and that's also a massive added benefit.
You know what I don't like? You know what I don't like, Terry, as well? And I think all of you can agree as well. Like, the first thing Gary Neville said was talking about his attitude, like not about how brilliant the goal was and everything like that. He was talking about his attitude, this thing that Bruno Fernandes with those comments that he said. That's so annoying. That's what annoys me.
You might know something that we don't know, but when it comes down to what I want to say, Ten Hag, this is where you make your money. You got yourself. You've been able to do it at Ajax. You've been able to produce these young players that people were buying from Ajax for an absorbent amount of money. Manchester United have a young talent. This is where he's going to make his bread and butter. I get it that he has a lot of work to do on and off the pitch with other people too, but developing these young players and fixing the situation that you guys have had with your lack of development with certain players, that is where I'm looking at him and I'm saying, you know what? This is another sign of where we can see how great of a manager Ten Hag actually is.
Have you not thought about the idea of just, starting him a little bit more? Because at the end of the day, when I look at United this season, I don't think there's much pressure on you this season. And his direct competition on that left is either Rashford, who I think has done a little bit better up front this season, and Sancho, who hasn't set the world alight. So at least I just give the kid some game time. You'd never know it's one of the ones where it's baptism of fire. Baptism of fire. You drop him in and he flies.
In fairness, when you look at, I'm just looking at this now. So he got a 19-minute appearance in early September against Sociedad. He came on for 19 minutes. His next game, he started, that was against Sheriff on the 27th of October. Started the next game against Sociedad and got the winning goal. Started against Villa, didn't have the best of games, to be fair. And then the last two performances have been from the bench. So he's only made, of his 6 appearances, 3 have been on the bench, 3 have been starts. I think he will get more game time, but it's about getting it right and not. Also, what you don't want to do, because I don't look at him and see a man yet. I still see a boy's body. You don't want to overplay until he's fully developed. You just want to get that timing right. By the way, Al, my friend, I know you said I missed your super chat. I haven't. We're going to save it until the Chelsea section. We're talking Man United and you super chat about Chelsea. I'm not going to bring it up at that point because it takes us off the flow of that conversation. So we will save it. Don't you worry. A man loses a son and a twin daughter survives. Said twin takes ill start of pre-season. All the journalists, instead of slagging off CR7 daily, I work here for now. They are too much power over you. Romero, not a good person. Well, the thing is, I said at the time, though, they said he was in Portugal for family reasons. It would have been very easy to have... if you're willing to tell us all this now, tell us it then. If you'd have said, like, my daughter is sick in hospital, it's touch and go, I have to be here, no one in their right mind would have said anything. But we were just told family issue, and it was like 3 months, and no one knew. So you can't have a go at people for not caring about his daughter when we didn't know anything was wrong with his daughter. That doesn't make any real sense. Clubs understand that no player is bigger than the club narrative, and they use that to exploit footballers. Let's be realistic. You can't expect no reaction after treating someone a particular way. We are humans. I suppose the point there, John D, is that how not playing someone because you don't think they're going to fit your system isn't mistreating somebody. It's the nature of being a professional football player. It's almost, is it mistreating someone if Ronaldo moves to Chelsea in January and is better than Aubameyang? Is it mistreating Aubameyang for Aubameyang to then be on the bench because Ronaldo, who you obviously like, is better than him? Like, this is the thing with mistreating. You know, did Ronaldo mistreat Real Madrid by not taking the money they were offering him? Like, what way around? I get your point, but I don't. So far, listen, we need to wait for the full interview, but it doesn't sound like mistreatment to me. It sounds like I'm not getting what I want.
You get a reaction as well. That reaction, like normal people, if they get dropped, they just work harder in training, try and force their way back in. Don't sit down with the journalist for a 90-minute interview, slagging anything and anyone, including the bloody kitchen ladies, off.
I hear you. This here says Ronaldo is the puppeteer. The fans are the puppets. Makeda, remember the name? Oh, mate, yeah, he was another one. We thought he was going to be good after that equalizing goal.
Januzaj.
But the thing is with Januzaj was a little bit like James Wilson, who also scored a brace on his debut when Giggs was managing. Rene Mullenstein did an interview and he spoke about how these guys got in the first team. And then he would catch them like in the jacuzzis. He'd catch them in like the training facilities. The way they were talking and behaving was like, yeah, we've made it. That's a problem for an 18, 19-year-old. You haven't made, like, there's levels that, yes, you've made it compared to a lot of footballers that never kick a ball for a Premier League team. But I think you've made it. I look at it this way. Rashford's won 3 trophies, an FA Cup, League Cup, and Europa League. I still don't think Rashford's made it at the elite level. He ain't won a league title or a Champions League.
No.
He hasn't made it yet. So that's the level you got to aim for. I am a United fan, is what Tim says. Fair enough. I appreciate that. CR7 is a GOAT, but no player is bigger than any club. He can't line up alone against an 11. Now can he? He disrespected his co-workers and employers. Cullen here says a smart move. He breaches his contract, meaning he can be terminated without a cost to the club. He gets the move, and Ten Hag sends a message that no one is bigger than the club, similar to Arteta and Aubameyang. And I think there's a lot of truth in that, Cullen. Great super chat, my friend. And Ronaldo has only problem. It's called Messi. He is trying his hardest to get attention just to keep up with him, the one and only GOAT. Thank you very, very much indeed. Make sure like buttons are being smashed, people. And as we said at the top of the show, we are sponsored today by NordVPN. Firstly, scan that QR code that's in between myself and Egal for the latest offers. You should always be using a VPN provider when using the internet. Protect your data, protect your account information, banking information from hackers, and it also stops big companies from selling your data. Keeps your stream nice and clear, amongst other things. The biggest reason I use it nowadays, though, is to get much cheaper streaming for Premier League football. I switch between Setanta Sport in Moldova and Peacock, the Peacock services out of the United States for all the Premier League games, including the 3 p.m. kickoffs. That costs $4.99 a month with Peacock alone. $4.99 for all the games, including the 3 p.m. kickoffs. So make sure you get signed up to NordVPN at the end of the show. The links are in the description as well, where we can give you a very good offer. I just want to check what the offer actually is. It's eluded my brain. On the 2-month plan, I will give you 4 months free, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee with that as well. Now, the voters have voted in a new talking point, and it is Potter out trending. Of course, Chelsea lost their 3rd game on the bounce, 4th game in 5 at the weekend. What are you saying, Have-Ho? Potter out?
Look, it's not as easy as that. Look, this is a mess. This is a mess. Tuchel needed to be sacked. At no point did I say that Potter needed to be hired. So people saying Potter out, what the hell is that going to solve? Like, what the hell is that going to solve? There are bigger issues, and the bigger issues are you have Neanderthal numbskulls like Mount, like Havertz, like Gallagher, like Frodinho in this team. The players are garbage. The players stink. The players are embarrassing. They don't know how to play football. So I don't know how 300 mil was spent on mostly defenders. It's a massive mess. So how can you blame Potter when it was the same scenario? See, there's some Chelsea fans who I don't think there's a brain that actually functions in their head, because these clowns are saying now, oh, Tuchel just needed some time. No, you freaking idiots. The last thing Tuchel did was that loss to Dynamo Zagreb, okay? He had totally lost the dressing room. Now, fair enough. You could argue and say, okay, he did it his players, and maybe he didn't get his players, but that's what the issue is. The focus should be who is the director of football, where is player acquisition, because look at the difference between Arsenal and Chelsea now. At Arsenal, that is Arteta's team. Now, it has taken many years and so forth and everything to get that, but you can see the technicalities of guys in their team. I mean, when you compare the technical qualities of an Odegaard to that clown Mount, it's vast. When you compare what Saka and Martin are doing to that clown Havertz, it's vast. So the issue is that Chelsea have clowns in their team. They have clowns in their team, and I don't know. I'm sure Egal is just enjoying this Arsenal love, man. But look, but it's true. Like, so my thing is, Potter out. What the hell? I mean, what's that going to solve? What the hell is that going to solve? Because my thing right now in January, people are joking about this whole Cristiano thing. If Chelsea gets Cristiano, Todd Bowley has to get sacked. That is a sackable of offense. Because if you're trying to rebuild a team, how do you rebuild a team with the guy who's trying to celebrate his 75th birthday in a few months? It makes no freaking sense. So, Like, look, man, as I said again, I don't do top four. Like, top four, that's for Lillbro and Arsenal and Tottenham and everything. That's not how I roll. But the situation is, we speak fluent Trophy, we speak fluent UCL. We're going to have to try and sort out this whole fourth and third position, man. And it is what it is, you know. So January is going to be very, very key. January is going to be very key because I just want people to understand this is that. Because right now, people are seeing what has been said for a long time. Because people keep saying, okay, why do you keep focusing on Mount? Why do you keep focusing on Mount? Why do you keep focusing on Mount? The issue is Mount plays a very crucial role in the team. Because he is the number 10, he is the creator. If this number 10 and creator does not actually have a football brain, that's a problem. That's an issue. Of course, Havertz is trash. Of course, Jorginho is a fraud. But Mount, you play a crucial position. And I kept getting told by this stupid, dim-witted Chelsea fans that Mount is this amazing quality player because he starts parts against freaking Delia Smith and Norwich. I said, no, the guy's average. He ends great. So Terry, man, I don't know, man. Look, I don't know, man. Oh, I'll take Hazard back.
What about Willian? I saw your tweet earlier as well about Willian. I'm sure you taking him back.
Oh, look, here's the thing right now. Willian, I defend this tweet. I fully stand by this tweet, and that is how bad things are. Willian, right now in 2022, is better than Aubameyang, Pulisic, Mount, Gallagher, Havertz, Ziyech. He's better. So yes, I would take Willian back because I think he could actually provide something more than the clowns that are there. Because, do you know, there is a stat. I don't know whether someone can find it. There's a stat. Chelsea have they have attempted the fewest take-ons of any team in the Premier League. Just think about that.
What are you saying? Willian and Hazard run it back?
Yes. No. Here's the thing. Yes. They're not. Look, okay, let's be real right now. They're not the top names on my list. They're not the top names on my list. But all I'm saying is that if I can't get Nene, I can't get Endrick, I can't get any of these top names in January, might as well. Because basically, might as well. Because if Chelsea can't get the top talents and really the best current player right now who actually know how to play football, you might as well get to Willian and Hazard. You might as well. Because, bro, they're better than the garbage that Chelsea are. Because Chelsea's players are garbage. And if you talk to any Chelsea fans right now, they know that these players, they stink. They stink. They're awful. They're bricks. They're crap.
Can I add something else? Your next 5 fixtures in the Premier League also include Liverpool, Man City. Oh.
Look, here's the thing. Look, no. Look. Man City is going to be tricky. No. Look, City is going to be. Look, Liverpool. Like, I would have wanted to play Liverpool a lot earlier.
It's at Anfield as well.
Yeah. That's the game in hand.
I want to throw a question out to the panel though. Will Potter, whether you think it's right or wrong, will he be sacked, or do you think Todd B will back him? Because
he's gonna stick it out. You gave him a 5-year contract. A 5-year contract. Like, for me, that shows, especially because to get him as well. No, yeah, that's the thing though. Especially because Todd B put so much effort into making Potter his man. He gave him the 5-year contract, and he's new to this game. I don't feel like he's gonna try and rush.
No, but why give him 5 years? Who asked him for 5 years? Why?
Of course, no. Well, that's where we see he saw a vision with Potter, and he's gonna have to trust in that vision, because at the end of the day, you don't give a man a 5-year contract without believing in what he's selling. Potter does have an identity. We do understand that he does have a good tactical identity. He plays some good football, but you need to give him the time to get there. I think Todd knows that's gonna come. He just knows that it's not gonna come any soon. And your fans, we all know under Roman, you're spoiled. You guys are used to this.
Leave us alone. We enjoyed, man. Leave us alone, man.
You're just gonna have to sit back and enjoy, like us other fans, and enjoy the rebuild process. This thing is 2-3 years.
Okay, wait. Egal, one question. Let me actually ask, because I think you may know this. So, who was the person who actually made the decision to get Arteta? Was that a Kroenke decision, or was that another kind of decision? Who actually made because we are now in a similar position right now. American owners who now seem to be calling the shots.
Arteta was already originally scouted and was looked at before Unai Emery came in. What happened was they ended up going with Unai Emery because he was a recommendation by Raul. Once Emery was sacked, they went back to Arteta because they've already had a dialogue with him prior to hiring Emery, and they already had the person, they've already spoken to him, they understood what he wanted, and that's why it was such a smooth transition. After we lost to Man City, we went and we spoke to him, he came back from Manchester, and it was done. So for you guys, with this Graham Potter thing, clearly, there must have been some sort of conversation prior with Todd Bowley, but hey, I'm just going to throw it this way. When I told you guys in the summer Todd Bowley didn't know what he was doing, I was proven right, because what he's done this summer, what he's done this season shows that he doesn't know what he's doing so far. He's new to football. He sacked the manager. He's pretty much gotten rid of the whole backroom staff in the middle of a transfer window. In his first season running Chelsea Football Club, in the middle of the summer, he's decided to take control of the whole transfer window, sign a bunch of players, invest a lot of money in a manager and players that he thought was going to fit under Thomas Tuchel, sack him after 6 games, bring in Graham Potter, and now you fans think he's going to sack him? He's not going to sack him. He's going to trust in this guy. He's going to hold on to him, and he's going to wait and see what he can do with his own players. I genuinely don't believe he's sacking Graham Potter anytime soon. I believe that he's going to wait to have the whole setup behind him before he goes and makes any more major changes.
So that means he does know what he's doing then?
No, I generally don't think he knows what he's doing at this moment.
So let me ask you your opinion. So is what he's doing right or wrong? Because the reason I ask you that is
right now what he's doing is wrong, because what he did is he came in and he made too many changes too quickly. He should have done it smoothly. He should have done it slowly. And when he had his people ready to come in and take those positions, then take out those other people. But what he's done is he's cleaned house without having the replacements ready to go.
So you don't think there's any chance within 2 years, 2.5 years, this Chelsea team under Potter could be challenging back for Premier League titles?
First of all, Terry, I don't think Graham Potter is going to transform this team overnight. So what he's going to do in 2 years' time, I can't predict it. What he's doing now and what he has right now with the setup behind him, he's set up for failure.
No. But I have. Let me just finish. And I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm just trying to ascertain, because a lot of people would have said 2 years ago that Edu and the Cronkies didn't know what they were doing in the appointment of Arteta. Most Arsenal fans at the end of last summer said they have no idea what they're doing in recruitment because it was looking bad. And then
I'm not saying sack Graham Potter.
I'm not saying you are. Well, but if they're making mistakes and they're hiring the wrong people, buying the wrong individuals, then sticking with Graham Potter makes no sense. If you think they're making mistakes, sticking with the mistakes.
This is where they're making the mistakes, though, Terry. They're making mistakes behind the manager, behind the scenes. Marina's gone. You got Czech going. You got all these people going in the background. Who's actually making the decisions at Chelsea?
I disagree. I disagree, though, guys. I don't think.
And if somebody who is in their first year of owning a football club is coming in, this is nothing like baseball. This is nothing like the NBA. This is nothing like North American sports. He needs somebody around him to guide him. I don't know if he has the guidance around him.
I mean, basically, this is the issue, because my fear is this could be a Moyes situation. You see, in football, 1 + 1 does not always equal 2. What was the Moyes situation? Look at what Moyes did with Everton. Now, imagine if he has better players, he'll do much better. Now, I always said that Moyes deserved at least a summer. But still, you now saw that all because he had better players doesn't mean that he will now do better because he had lesser players and did well with Everton. So my issue with with Arteta is he is coming in fully fresh. But he's not only coming in fully fresh, he's coming in working in an environment of success, which was Pep. Potter has been used to, punching above your weight. Because, for instance, I think it was the Arsenal game. Sterling was just standing. And I think it was Martinez, someone just quickly came and just took the ball off of him. And I was shouting. Potter didn't say anything. As a manager, you berate and you scream and you shout at that player. But the fear I have is that for Potter, he's like, oh, Sterling, oh, bounce. So he's sort of like starstruck with all these kinds of big players that he has, that he doesn't really, I'm not sure that he has the kind of ability to be like, no, you need to go out. So the issue is Todd Bowley. Do you realize what all Chelsea fans realize, that this entire team needs a complete makeover? As in, this team needs a total rebuild. I just don't know whether he realizes. And also, what is so stupid is 300 million was spent. Those players that were bought, were those players bought for Tuchel? Were those players bought because of your data analysis? Or were those players bought in view of you getting Potter? No one knows. So Koulibaly, Fofana, Bobby, who were these players bought for? Because if they are bought for Tuchel, you were extremely stupid. Because how do you then sack him? So
you man are so spoiled. It's unreal. I thought my fan base was quite bad and everything, but you man are a different level of spoiled. The thing is, you're too used to getting behind the teams and what the owners used to do, not the manager. That's why it's a whole different. The guy's been here for 2 months, hasn't spent a single penny on what he wants.
Cause I never wanted Potter, bro. I never wanted Potter.
I don't care what you wanted, bro. At the end of the day, Chelsea got rid of everything when they got rid of Roman. So yes, he's gonna make mistakes. He should be free to make mistakes at Chelsea, and you lot are just gonna have to hold it and wait. Whether Potter's the right man or not, you're gonna have to give my man time. No one is yeah, of course you can have the right to criticize some of his decisions because that's always gonna happen. But this team is not his team in one single player. Who said he was gonna get Cucurella and wanted Cucurella? Who said he wanted any of these lot? We all know Chelsea's team is very unbalanced. It's going to take a lot of money and it's going to take a lot of good scouting to see what he wants. And I think he's got a good eye for what he wants. You lot just got to be patient. You just got to ride it. And it's not going to be the same under Roman because you man are too used to what it's like under Roman and not what it's going to be like under Todd B. He's going to spend money. It's going to get crap. You ain't got no attack force. Yes, you got Sterling and that's probably about it. And yeah, the midfield needs a lot of work and a lot of it needs work, man. But you're just going to have to be patient. And this is where it comes in, man. If you have to hold out for 6th, 5th, it doesn't matter, man. You're just going to have to wait because that's the way it is going to be. And they're going to get, the thing is, you're going to get better. You're going to win stuff. You're going to compete eventually. And you know that. And yes, it's going to be corrupt. It's going to be rubbish. Yes, they are because Chelsea are going to spend. Todd B has got the money to spend whatever free other money he's got left to invest in the squad itself. And people will come. The director of footballs, the head of recruitments, it will happen. Just be patient, man. Come on, man. But I get it.
I don't think they have the level of patience. I don't think they have it because
they got no choice. They got no choice.
They've got no choice. They're gonna have to.
Like you again. This is what I said at the beginning of the summer. When you go out and you have a Thiago Silva, you buy a Koulibaly, you're buying players to like sustain what you have right now. You're not really buying for the future. Then you're adding in players here and there. Now I'm starting to see what they might be doing, trying to go after this Brazilian guy, that they're trying to go for an actual rebuild and get some young players in. But hey, we'll have to wait and see.
They bought a lot of young players last year, but I agree with you, Egal. They are going to have some fans that will be behind it, behind the plan, behind the process. Then they will turn and be like, no, Potter out, I don't want him here. And then if it works, they'll say, I was always behind the process. That is, some Chelsea fans are 110% going to do that. We've got some super chats here. First one from Al says, Chelsea fans look shook. LL, that's you have hope.
HH actually.
Wouldn't have me on his stream. Chelsea are finished forever. And Sugar Daddy Bram. Did he say Bram? Bram.
I think he meant Abramovich. Yeah.
Bram could not save you. It's the London Cowboys now.
Your little bro, Almaris, you are little bro. Okay, little bro, know your place. Know your place, little bro.
Listen, you're a little bro right now, so keep quiet.
Egal, you'll always be little bro. Egal, you'll always be little bro. Relax. Know your place, bro. Know your place.
They are going to bring.
Egal told you.
They're going back to Potter for a couple of seasons. They seem. This seems a rebuilding year. I'm just hopeful we can advance in the Champions League and compete for a Euro position. That's the one thing I would say. There is listen, you could be 8th and then win a Premier League the next year or challenge at least. We're seeing that right now. But if Chelsea end up finishing like 9th and go out of the Champions League early, that's the only time it can change. Like, I'm not saying it will 100%. That's the only time it can change. Lukaku plus CR7 link up at the bridge. Hashtag. Can you imagine?
No mobility in that front two.
Ronaldo has. Sorry, I already put that one up earlier on today. Thank you. Silly analysis. These Chelsea players are not that bad.
Oh, quiet.
Let me just finish the super chat, mate. Not that bad. We have made a mistake with Potter. We should not keep making the mistake because we've just made it. We need to be swift and ruthless. So he obviously doesn't know. What he's saying is that it isn't on the players. It's Graham Potter's the problem. You agree with that?
No.
You agree that Graham Potter's the problem. You said you didn't want him, right?
No. But both things can be true. I didn't want Potter. These players are garbage. So the thing that I didn't want Potter.
But the point he's making about Potter, getting rid of him, do you agree with that or disagree with that?
Or get rid of Potter now?
Yes.
No, I don't agree. Once you've hired him, it is what it is. You should have never hired him. Now that he's here, we have to deal with what is now. Now he's here. It is stupid to fire him now. Stupid.
You missed something else as well. Your players are also, I know you want to finish the super chat and all that. Your players are very used to a rigid, structured formation, and he's more as free flowing, positional, moving.
Kaz, no, Kaz, no, Kaz, don't do that. Kaz, don't do that. These players are crap.
No.
They're
What I'm
crap.
saying, no, they're not as good as people make them out to be. Same way of Man United squad. I think we got a very much overrated squad, like yourself. But at the same time, the way he wants to work stuff and the way he's probably gonna have to tweak things like Eric Ten Hag has had to done. And so forth. It's going to take time because Potter's formation, like at Brighton as well, because that's what I'm going to reference to. It's going to take time to implement anything for anyone to come in because that's the way it works. That's how it goes in football, man.
The issue was under Tuchel though that the system's too rigid. The players aren't used to it. They can't score goals. Now they've got a free-flowing system. It's the system's too free-flowing. The players don't know what to do and they can't score goals. It's just the players. The players.
I don't think they have it.
Tell this guys, it's the players.
Listen,
It's the players. They're crap.
Table, man. I'd rather see that than Contable. Let me. That's a fact.
I hear that.
Table, one of
it is the players. It is the players. But who is bringing in the players?
I think it's a combination of both, boys. I think it's a combination of both. And what I mean by that is,
Of course.
I think Potter's great, but where it's going to take him time is he's had no stopgap. Whether people like this statement or not, Chelsea are one of the biggest clubs in the world now. They just are. He's gone from whatever that team were called in Sweden or Norway, I forget their name.
Östersund.
Yes. To Brighton, to Chelsea. Where is that step in between, like a medium-sized club, like an Everton, like Borussia Dortmund, like a Tottenham, like a team in the middle before you get to the big boys? Do you get what I mean? There's been no stepping stone. There's been no stepping stone.
Terry knows what he's doing. He's waiting for the bite. He's waiting for the bite. I'm going to give it to him.
There's no stepping stone on that, but yeah, that's part of
it. Everton.
Terry.
Yeah. Well, Everton and
Dortmund for the same sentence.
Everton are a big size club, big club.
Terry, he doesn't need a stepping stone if Chelsea were run properly. That's the reality. He can come in.
I disagree. Right? I get your point because of Arteta, right? But what Arteta's doing is rare. What Pep did is rare. What Zidane did is rare. Most managers, go through the history of managers that have managed and been successful at top clubs and find how many have not managed a big team, but not as big as the juggernaut they're now at. Very rarely do they go straight into a big club.
Listen to my point, though. Chelsea have been a revolving door of managers. Yes, the quality of manager has also been up there, but the reason why they've been able to be a revolving door of managers because they had the structure in the background. Todd Bowley has come in and blown up the structure in the background. They don't know who's recruiting the players. Their systems all over the place. They're constantly getting new managers in, and when he comes in, he's left with a job that needs to be overhauled. The whole thing behind him needs to be overhauled. So to be pointing at him is very harsh. Even I'm not pointing at him. I'm looking at everyone else besides him. The players are the ones conceding these goals. The players who are the ones that have been letting down the managers. And the people who are signing these players don't know who they even want to sign. You've been doing the transfer business for Chelsea over the last 2 summers, Terry. You've seen the structure and how they did it before and how they did it this last summer. This last summer was messy. And they're going to continue. They're going to continue to have this.
I understand that point. Sorry, just to go back. I understand that point. There's things out there. Eunice spoke about this on his channel. He watched it in training. A lot of Chelsea fans feel very uninspired by Potter. There's no real instructions. He isn't slamming players. He isn't getting his point of view across. That could just be that he feels a little overawed. He looks overawed. The way he's dressing and cutting his hair and doing his beard, that's someone who's trying too hard to fit in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I dress how I dress. You've all seen how I dress. It's like me going to a hip-hop competition dressed like Eminem from 1999. I'd look like a dickhead. That ain't how I dress. That ain't how I roll. I'd go to a hip-hop concert, dress how I dress still. Graham Potter has turned up at Chelsea, and he's trying to be something he's not. I think there's an element of him where he needs to be pulled aside and say, listen, grow your hair out again, wear the dodgy oversized tracksuit, and be you. Stop trying to be. There's a famous scene in The Mighty Ducks 2 where Coach Bombay turns up to a big game against Iceland with Team USA, and he's got a suit and his hair slicked back like the Iceland coach. And things go wrong. I think that's what he's doing, a bit of a Gordon Bombay here. It's an old reference. Only the older people watching are going to get it.
Emilio Estevez. Shout out Emilio Estevez.
By the way, you know what's mad about that? I didn't know until a year ago that's Martin Sheen's brother.
Yeah.
They got
No. Martin Sheen's son.
So Martin Sheen's son, sorry. Yeah.
And Charlie Sheen's brother, yeah.
Charlie Sheen's brother, yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because they got different surname. Right. Anyway, Tuchel was the answer. HH should have backed him when he said the players were crap. Proven manager, proven results. Why sack TT after all the success? Because the players down tools.
That's bullshit.
It was always going to happen because, like, if a new guy comes in, he wants his own people. So Tuchel, you're not my guy. And the moment they disagree with stuff, is like, no, I want to have a guy who I can control. And obviously, Tuchel and him, they didn't see eye to eye. It is what it is. And also, for me, I feel Tuchel is a great cup manager. I don't think Tuchel is a great league manager. And I think that Tuchel, he took these players as far as they could have gone. Simple.
I get that.
I disagree with that comment. Though.
Okay, go on. What you saying?
No. It's just I just disagree, man. With he got 300 million. That's not back. You tell me what, man. Come on, man. After that squad they already had.
Kenny Egder, thank you for becoming a member. Any chance, more chance of going Pluto than getting Neymar at Chelsea?
Says you, Joshua.
Should the Emirates be bulldozed and then turned into a Tesco's? Arsenal failed to make top 4.
They're making top 4. Top 4 is already sealed. It's already sealed for them. Now, title, let's forget that. Title is a pipe dream.
We'll come back. Go on. Arsenal's next. It's Arsenal related. We'll save it till next. We'll come back to this super chat later. Sorry. Klopp needed time. Pep needed time. Arteta needed time. Playing the every manager out game is very dangerous. A way to process. Roman is gone, and Chelsea fans might just have to learn patience. I agree, Cullen, and I think I'm not saying that the manager should be sacked, but there is still elements that the individual can improve on. And I think dressing and having your haircut in a way that isn't you is one surefire way of, I'm not saying losing respect, but people can see through it if people are acting like they're not. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you, like you can see through it and whatever else. Mistakes happen when you sack TT for a guy who has never won anything. Granted, Arteta had no resume, but studied under one of the greatest minds, is what's been said there. Next super chat says, I lost 6 figures this weekend in an FX drama, but seeing the downfall of Chelsea makes my day. Long may it continue.
Disaster, man. That was a disaster, man.
There we go. Chelsea fans quickly forget most of those players they don't like now are from the Abramovich era. I think it's very unfair to cry about Roman when he's responsible for this mess more than they think. I do agree. I think there's a backlog. Terry really loved this channel. One of the best football contents. Tune in daily. Are Arsenal strong enough? We'll come back to the Arsenal stuff a little later. I didn't realize it was Arsenal until I got there. We'll come back to that one a little bit later. LL is scared I'll destroy his echo chamber channel. Chelsea are facing an injury crisis akin to Liverpool 2 years ago. Liverpool nearly won the quad when they got their players back.
I agree with this. I agree with this. You know what? No,
Kaz, I'm not hearing this. Kaz, I'm not hearing this. No. We went down to. Hold on. No. We went down to 8th and 9th choice centre backs. We went down to 8th and 9th choice.
It's not even close to be the same.
It's 20 games.
It's not close to being the same.
What I'm going to say, yeah, the way Potter plays, as we know with wing backs, both of his wing backs have been injured, and one side's injured. I get it. They got cover there. No. It's crucial to the way he plays, and it's like a bit like Spurs.
That's why your football is that garbage. No, Potter. No, don't give him any excuses. Don't give him any excuses.
Anyways, look. If you lot sack him, I don't mind because he's next England manager. You go get Simeone, what you're used to, garbage football. It's a bit like Conte, right?
I thought that said
he lost Kulusevski, Son, and whatnot, and I've been bantering them for that, and they haven't looked the same about Kulusevski. It's the same way with Graham Potter. He can't play the way he wants to play when he ain't even got wing backs. Like we're talking about Reece James and Chilwell here, and the Kukurea that's just not working out at the moment. When they did have Reece James,
he has a wing back.
Well, Kukurea was
anyways, when they did have his wing backs. How many clean sheets did they have? How many? Like, no one was complaining then. I didn't hear you moan, but now every team's got injuries. But the way he's playing, it's clear to say in his squad.
A lot of Chelsea fans will tell you that he wasn't playing good.
But for me, I just feel like Chelsea just need to give this guy time and relax and let him get some of his players, man. Because he ain't even got one in, bro. And you know what? It's I don't know why I'm getting annoyed. I'm not even a Chelsea fan, but it's just some way the way people think. For me, is just a bit over the top.
No. All I'm saying is that the issue that Chelsea fans have is that the football is so bad. It's such a mess. And I think and I think also is a point that Terry has brought up, which is that I do feel that this guy is starstruck with being a Chelsea manager. And I feel that he feels kind of overawed with sort of, wow, I'm Chelsea. I'm going from Brighton to Chelsea. Well, that's why I use the whole Arteta example, because Arteta went from Man City, working with Pep, to Arsenal. So there's nothing of being starstruck. Going from Brighton to Chelsea, or going from United, or going from Everton to United, you can be starstruck. And once you're starstruck, that means you don't know that, oh, no, Mount, you're crap, get off my team. Havertz, you're crap, get off my freaking team. So you become very easy on players who are generally garbage. And there needs to be a heavy hammer and something very drastic done about the amounts of garbage players that exist. It's simple.
Listen, I think it's ridiculous to draw the comparison to the Liverpool injuries. I get it that you have Reece James injured. He's probably the most crucial player. Conte's been injured for majority of the season. So are we even going to count this? Are we going to even count him in this realistically? Ben Chilwell, at this point, you guys already have a backup for Ben Chilwell of the level in Cucurella. So you shouldn't be complaining so much when he's gone, unless you're saying that you bought Cucurella and he's not even doing the job that you bought him for. And Wesley Fofana, you guys keep banging at the beginning of the season when you guys signed Wesley Fofana, you're banging on about the fact that you have Thiago Silva, who's one of the best center backs. You brought in, as Roy said, another top 5 Premier League center back already when he walks in through the door in what do you call it, Koulibaly. And now you guys are saying your players are bang average. We told you guys that the way that you guys were going into the season, it wasn't looking good for you guys, and you weren't prepared for the season. And now you're just suffering the consequences week in, week out. And I'm hearing new excuses every single day. This is a damn low from whoever made that super chat. I completely disagree. And if you want to explain yourself further, please do, because that made no sense.
There we go, people. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. Make sure you are signing up now. Your 4 months free 2-year plan with NordVPN. Links in the description below, or scan the QR code on the screen that's just in between me and Egal above our heads. Up next on the show, as voted for by you, the viewers, live on the air, Arsenal clear at the top, 5 points clear. No one saw the Man City defeat coming. It happened, and then Arsenal pounced. What you saying, Egal? What you saying now, sort of 48 hours later? You've got that big cushion at the top. Can relax now until Boxing Day. You've got almost a 2-game insurance policy now at the top of the league, flying high. Talk to us.
You know what? With all the emotion of the game over, and I'm just looking back, I'm saying, you know what? That was a nervy game. I feel like a lot of the performances we've grown as a team, because we see games where we have first halves where we're poor away from home, and then second halves we kick into gear and we win the game 2-0. And Odegaard stepping up with 2 goals. Gabriel, who's been criticized majority of the season, stepping up with a goal. This team is coming together, Terry, and I'm really liking it. I'm seeing a lot of improvements from a lot of our players, such as Gabriel growing in as the season's gone on. He's continued to play better and better, and the way that we're playing right now, one of the best attacks in the league, or maybe the second best attack right now in the league, excluding City. One of the best defenses in the league. I just hope that we can continue to keep the good times rolling, man, because we're actually looking like a threat.
You are looking a threat. I mean, what are you saying, George? Like you're smiling there. What are you saying, bro? Go on.
No, do you know what? Yeah, they're looking good. They are looking good. But for me, I keep saying it, and it sounds salty, but I'm just waiting for a lot of these players for their form to run out. Because let's be honest here, a lot of these players are in top form. They're playing the best they have in a while. And you're talking about, if you're going to talk about this last game, Egal, it might not be this last game, but form isn't just one game. It's a span of games, 6 or 7 or 8. And your players are playing, quite a few of them, out better than they have over the past year. The likes of Odegaard starting to pick it back up. He didn't start too well, but then he started to pick himself back up. Partey, Saka, Martinelli, even the likes, you've got Vieira coming in, adding Xhaka. You've got a lot of players that are playing better than they have or than they are. They're just playing better than they are. So for me, I'm going to see that when we come back from this break, Arsenal are balloon just waiting to be deflated, and you guys are going to, as time goes on, the form, I believe some of these players are going to drop off in form, not all of them. And then I'm going to start to see the team start to get picked apart. I do believe that they have improved though drastically since the start of the season. I do think that you guys are starting to really show that you do have a great way of playing football. You have the champagne.
Is that not a credit to Arteta though? But I ain't seen you say
But-
there's no credit to Arteta for that though, because you're gonna have to say like, look, he's got his team done 2-3 years in. You could say like the players are looking better.
I was just about
He's
to
got
get
a
onto
couple
that, Cass.
profiles.
That's what I was saying. Like,
Okay,
they
fair enough, fair enough.
I was literally just
Yeah,
about to
go
say
on.
they play this champagne football because of the time frame they've had to really build into it. It's not just come out of nowhere. They took 2 years of playing rubbish football and sort of having a good game and then playing a bad game and having 45 minutes against Man City and then not turning up against Burnley. Like, this is what Arsenal was, and now they're starting to find themselves where they're playing the same football. They're starting to find a consistency, but we all know what's going to happen, man. Once the pressure gets put on and Man City really start to step it up into the later stages into the season, Arsenal are going to deflate. Arsenal are going to drop off. That's how they did against Newcastle and Newcastle Spurs last season. They crashed.
I feel like there's a little bit of hope there in what you're saying. But when you said form, right? You do realize Odegaard has had a lot of bad patches this season. Jesus, we've already spoken about it numerous times.
I didn't mention him because 0 goals in 11 games. Enough said.
12.
Numerous times about Jesus, but Kayo Saka and Martinelli both now to be seen to having a really good season. But at times in the season, Bukayo Saka, it looked like he was having a slow start, and Martinelli has been pretty consistent for the majority of the season. Xhaka, I'll give it to you. Xhaka has been on good form, and then you can look at Saliba, also been on good form. So bar like 2 players, really and truly, the 11, it's been pretty much like one person picks it up here, another person picks it up here. It's been a great team performance throughout the whole season. It's not been like one player has been carrying us.
And that's what I said. I said a lot of your team, a lot of these players are playing better than they are. They are picking it up when they need to, but they're not going to continue to do that because we know these players. We know these players very well. We know the likes of Martinelli. He didn't have a goal contribution for the last 6 months of last season. He disappears. He's a young player. It happens. Saka, his performances have been well and he's been consistent for a while, so no one's going to doubt him. But the likes of DYER, you can't rely on as a backup. He looks decent, but you can't rely on.
Why would the form
drop off? But you're pointing out backup.
Why is the form going to drop off?
You're not pointing out any of the starters.
Why is the form going to drop off? Because we know Arsenal. We watched them last season.
No, but that's hopeful.
They go through these patches.
You know an Arsenal. You know.
And wait, Tom, if you saw Arsenal last season, you would know
that
about
last season,
they had a similar.
Wait, George.
Guys. Tom, go.
Talk about this season.
Last year is last year, and also last year their main aim was to get top 4, so they were battling for that race at the end. This year they're not going into this expecting a title challenge, expecting to be battling with Man City week in, week out. So there's less pressure. There's more just enjoying the situation that they're in. There's more confidence about themselves compared to last year, where it was there was all this pressure around the club. What's going to happen if we don't get top 4? That goes on to the players. Now there's just we're enjoying the situation we're in, where we're first. We didn't expect to be here, playing well. Keep going with it. Keep enjoying the vibe that's created. That's why I don't see this form just tear off the cliff. So just keep going and going and going.
Because you sit top of the league, and then you think you're comfy getting top 4, and then that's where the complacency sets in. Last season, I'm not talking about the back end of last season. Egal will know better than me. I don't really know the period, but I'm sure it's between December and like February or somewhere around that, where Arsenal they went 10 wins in 13 games. So they've done this type of form before. They've shown that they can do consistency over a short period of time. But that doesn't mean that they're going to drag it on for the full season. And they've shown this Arsenal team that they do lack consistency across a full season. And I expect, off of recent history, that it's going to continue to show.
We keep doing this thing, though, George. Even as a United fan, this makes me sick. But we keep doing this thing. But next game. But in the next couple games, don't worry, in this month, they're going to flop. Look, Look, bro, it's continuous. Why is it? Bro, last season, Liverpool were doing quadruple nearly last season. Look where they are this season. Like, I hate to do this. It's horrible. I've said it time and time again on here. But everybody in the comments needs to put salt emojis towards George right now. That's all I'm gonna have to say, because he can't handle this being a random fan. Salt emoji. Salt emojis. Nah, man. Top, look,
I'm gonna be.
Arsenal will drop points. Arsenal will drop points, but so will everybody else. They will get injuries, but so will everybody else.
Look at what you've done. You went from saying Arsenal are going to drop off to now saying, when Arsenal don't finish first. So your drop off is saying we're not going to finish.
I never said what the drop off is. I just said when. when that happens, your drop off will
What
be.
do you consider the drop off? What do you consider the drop off? Just so
The thing is that I don't get here, Egal, is you time and time again is you say what is the drop off. Second, third, and fourth is the exact same thing. You're just going to be the first loser, second loser, and third loser. You don't get no benefits for finishing second, third, or fourth.
So you're conceding that Arsenal can finish above.
So if your drop off is to second, and then we finish third, you can celebrate it. But in my eyes, it's not going to be nothing big. It's just going to be you lost the title.
So
in the fashion that you did.
Is that what you're hinting again? Because when you keep
I've
bringing up,
not hinted nothing. You can throw that in there.
No,
I said if.
Because you're smiling. You're smiling. I want to know. Is that what you're implying by last season? We seen it last season. Is that what you're implying? That Tottenham is somehow going to miraculously finish above Arsenal again?
Miraculously. I don't know how much points the gap is, but to you, 14 games in, there's a good 22 to go or 24 to go. How much points do you think that the gap is that we can't come back?
It's
8 points is that much that you think that we can't
also
close that gap?
Also we played one less game than you, but anyways, continue.
That game is against
Yeah, but by that logic, George, like you're kind of like this season I've heard like you guys laugh at the teams behind you that are like Liverpool and Man United are closer to you than you are to Arsenal.
100%. And again, Terry, if you want to call me out for that, you can call me out for that.
I'm not calling you out. I'm trying to understand the logic. It's also like your logic around we're different now, Tottenham. We could win a trophy this year. Obviously, no one showed up on Friday's show to rep Tottenham after you went out of a and it's just I just find the logic interesting that you guys have changed and you're going to start winning, but Arsenal haven't and they're going to fall away. But I think the fall away argument for me is so interesting because they're still not the favourites to win the league with a 5-point gap. City are. City are still the favourites with pundits. They're still the favourites with the bookies. Arsenal have just moved into a realm of they could win the league with most people, not I think they're going to. And equally, I don't just necessarily think finishing second is always like the same as finishing fourth. It depends on trajectory and how far you are behind top. Because if, let's just say City win the league with 95 points and Arsenal come second with 93, but the team in third place have 75 points, there is a fundamental difference between positionally, no, what you achieve, no, but in terms of favourites to challenge the next year, how you can sell that to potential people you're trying to buy, being that like you're actually in a title race rather than just the top four. So I think you've got to contextualize that a little bit. But Arsenal can win this league. I 110% they can win it. And having this 5-point gap,
God forbid,
massive. It is massive.
Terry, didn't Chelsea have a 5-point gap at Christmas last summer?
Yeah, but were they okay? Question to you then. No, yeah. Were Chelsea playing as well, winning games as comfortably as Arsenal have been in these opening 14 games?
No, and but the difference is for me is that Chelsea had a manager that knew how to get the good job done, and the reason why that they didn't have to do it in that fashion is
when did he ever win a league besides the French league?
I said knew how to get the job done in games. No one's talking about leagues, Egal. So just hold up a second. Arteta's never won a league, so your point is irrelevant. He doesn't know how to win a league. So for me, in my eyes, none of these players in your team have won a league. So for me, there's a lot of things that I look at and say this team's just not ready for it, and the manager's not ready for it, and the players aren't ready for it.
You know what?
That's what I see. You need a stepping stone.
A lot of Arsenal players have won stuff.
You don't go from finishing at 5th, 8th to then winning the title. It just doesn't happen.
Question here from one of our members says: should they win the league from this point?
I think majority of people will still say City, even with a 5-point gap, they could easily close it on.
They love a chase, man. They love a chase. City. Look, 5-point gap is not enough for City, man, because they will hurt. We all know they've done it year on year out. They turn into different monsters when it comes second half of the season, and they do. 5 points is not enough. It's nowhere near enough to win a league.
Do not let them win that Carabao Cup. You're not stopping them.
I'm not joking. I think I have to declare it. I saw a question. Someone said, "Who I'd rather win, Manchester United fan, Arsenal, or Man City?" I'm sorry, but it has to be Arsenal, man. Look, I can't stand the fan base, but I don't know if I could take a year of it. But Man City doing a triple like leagues, they are the true rivals at the end of the day, and I don't think I want to see that nowhere near. Not even have one treble Premier League thing. So I think I'd rather would. But if that means Egal is going to be annoying, for a year than already is. Shit, man, that's torturous.
You know, people over on the Man City side of things, some Man City fans are taking it more serious than others. I see some Man City fans saying stuff like, "Oh, Arsenal are actual threat. They're worried. They're
I don't
trying
think
to
you get it, Gal. They need to build this up. They need to make it seem
put,
like they're going to do something well when they win this league. That it wasn't easy. They're going to say, we beat this big Arsenal team. we got over the Arteta team. That's what this fans do.
It is what it is. Honestly, at this moment in time, all I gotta say is this Arsenal team defensively, we are still one of the best defensive teams in this league, and that is the bedrock of our team. So Manchester City, what we've seen from them is they're leaky. If there's any chance Arsenal is going to actually do something and win this league, it's off the back of our defense being that solid and Man City still being leaky and giving away goals. Because if you watch that Brentford game, it could have ended like what, easily 3-1.
It should have been 3-1.
There's a question here. There's a question here.
4-1.
Curious George, I think this is for George. Jesus has not scored for 7 games, and Arsenal are still top. What happens when he starts scoring again?
Okay, this is a great question because at the start of the season, I told people
Why are you
Jesus isn't a
answering
goal scorer. It's a great question because he's not a goal scorer. And you check his Premier League record, he's scored above 10 Premier League goals once in the past five seasons. So he's never going to start scoring again. He's never going to score at a prolific level. And if he does start to score, it might be 5 or 6 more Premier League goals this season. He's got.
Would you care though? Would you care though if you get 99 goals in a season?
Wait, I don't know. Wait, Egal, give it a second. Wait, give it a second. What? And this is wrong. It's not 7. He's gone 11 games without a goal. 11 games without a goal for the striker that you said was going to compete for Golden Boot, Egal. You said he's going to compete for the Golden Boot. Why don't you answer that question? Is he still competing for the Golden Boot?
By the way, I only said he'd get 15 to 17 goals. I never said 20. That is a fact. And you guys can remember and go pull up the tape if you want to pull it up. Second of all, when it comes to Gabriel Jesus, the question was for me, my guy. I felt like
no, it was for George. Okay, I think he thinks George's name is George because Kaz says it does sound quite a lot like George. It was for Jordan. It was for Jordan. Yeah, 100%.
I thought the question was for me, and the way that you jumped at it, it just feels like you're a little bit worried of the possibility of what this team could be with our number 9 actually banging goals. And also, just so you guys know, the Manchester City have won their last couple of seasons without an actual number 9. Am I wrong? When you look at some of these teams that have won the league over the last couple of seasons, they didn't actually have traditional number 9s. You look at, I think the Chelsea team, they had. I think they did. I'm sorry, but Man City's teams definitely didn't have a number 9.
No, Man City had Jesus. He just didn't make the 11.
And Liverpool's team, Firmino wasn't a traditional number 9 either. So when you're looking at it,
Egal, the point isn't a traditional number 9. The point is if he's not being a traditional number 9, he's feeding your other 2 players who will pick up the slack that he's going to leave behind. Do you see the big thing is Saka? Are Saka and Martinelli going to get 20 plus this season? Because that's been the
it's not
start
only about Saka and Martinelli. My main thing is the goals coming from everywhere. The midfielders are banging in 2 goals. You got Xhaka popping up with goals. You got Partey popping up with goals. You got our center backs popping up with goals. And the whole team is contributing. That's why we have 33 goals. It's not because of Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. It's because of the whole team. And guess what? If Jesus starts banging it in,
that's what I say about City. I'm gonna have to say something on City. I said it on a couple of my streams as well, and I think you guys might have been. I think you might have been there, George. Without Haaland in the team, there's not really any true gunmen in this City team, and without no Walker, it affects the team massively. That right hand side especially, but everybody's got injuries, and you've got to deal with that. And I think they will go fish for a new right back in January. They have to. But without Haaland, I feel like there's not many like last season there was Jesus, but you had gunmen everywhere. Like, don't get me wrong, Foden's improving his goal record, but Gundogan's slowing down his goals. You got what I mean? Sterling was still getting 15 goals. Mahrez was another gunman. You got what I mean? And Cancelo obviously with the odd screamer. But I just feel like no Walker is key, and he's going to continue to get injured for me. I don't think he can maintain it. I don't know if you agree with that, Terry, but I feel like City sides over the other years have been that little bit more dynamic.
City, I've said it all season, City can be got at this year. City are gettable. They're still one of the best in the world, but there's some slight holes. There's a question here, though, that says, Terry, really love the channel. Thank you very much. Best football content. It definitely is. I agree with that part. Are Arsenal strong enough to win the league if the first 11 are fit throughout the season, no injuries? Yes, they are. If this team does, that's the other side of it. That year that Liverpool won the league, what was so amazing is they barely had an injury. And if Arsenal do go through the campaign and it's an odd game here and there, yeah, of course they can win the league. I think that's an absolute certainty that could happen. This one said, should the Emirates be bulldozed and then turned into a Tesco's? If Arsenal foul and finish in the top 4, outside the top 4, maybe, because no team's ever had this many points after 14 games and not won the league. So they have to make top 4 at the very least. They have to.
Respectfully, I don't think top 4 is an issue.
No,
nah, you're like 25. I'm not joking. 20, another 30 points probably.
But
out
Terry,
of
I
a
don't get how
collective
you can say that stat and
top
then
4.
not put the pressure on this team to not win the league. Like you said, no team's ever been in this position before.
That will
and not
happen in
won the league.
January, though. That will
Why are
happen
you
when it
not
comes to
winning the league?
January. It will happen. It will happen.
So again, but to say, but you can say that. Then for me, I'm not saying they have to win it from this point because City are only a couple of points behind it. We know how good they are. My question into you would be, if you want to say that, then you've got to admit that they are the favourites and they're good enough to win the league. You can't put that pressure on without praising them at the same time. So it's like people want me to say United are in the top 4 race. Then tell me I'm as good as you lot then, and then I'll do it. I'll make you make the compliment first. That's my way of doing it. That's it for me.
Yeah, you want your cake and you want to eat it too. You want to make fun of
Yeah.
If you want me to say you're the favorites, I'll say you're the favorites. I just know you're not going to win it, so I don't mean nothing.
Yeah, but then you don't mean the
By the
favourites.
way, George, how does it feel? How does it feel? Tottenham are having their best ever season ever. And I think you're 4th or 3rd.
Best ever start to a Premier League season.
Yeah, that is. What have you accomplished in the Premier League? So, of course, this is your best ever season in the Premier League.
LL is. Oh, sorry, we already had that one that came back. Can someone tell the dude that a 12-1-1 is more than a bumper form?
That was towards George.
Yeah. I hear that. People have been saying that we're going to drop off all season. 14 games in, 5 points clear. Rivals are hoping we drop off. It's hope that kills you. Did he just say that Martinelli disappears? What drugs is this Spurs fan inhaling? Have you seen the Mudryk interview with Zinchenko's wife? He's very interesting stuff and massively.
Have you seen it, Terry?
No, I haven't. But we had Ben Jacobs on the other day. Ben Jacobs interviewed him first, and people have tried to twist that interview where he says Arsenal. He wasn't questioned about would you join Arsenal. It was a very generic question, and Mudryk brought Arsenal up. So I've seen a few of these around.
He's a baller.
Today, Terry, he was asked directly of some questions, and one of them was very interesting. He was basically asked if you had a choice to sit on Real Madrid's bench or start for Arsenal, which one would you pick? He's like, start for Arsenal. He's like, what team do you watch and follow around the world? He was mentioning Arsenal once again. Also, Zinchenko's wife is the one doing the interview, and there was a lot of things where he was just bringing up Arsenal fans, speaking about all the messages he gets on Instagram, all sorts of stuff, and it's a really good interview. It's done fully in Ukrainian, but there are some translations on Twitter if you guys want to check it out.
I'll have a little look. We have the younger squad. It's not unreasonable to think that these players will get better and more mature, and not the opposite. It's a good point. This guy really said they are playing better than. Sorry, they are playing better than they are. That ain't even possible. They are clearly playing better because they improved, is what's been said there.
Thank you.
So go on, George. Respond, bruv. Respond.
The thing is, I don't like about these things is like it's like players have never had a good run of games before. And look, Almiron's playing out of his skin right now. We're not going to say Almiron is world class. We're not going to say Almiron is of the level of Mahrez because he's playing like this for 2-3 months.
Oh, but
but we see. But respect to Almiron.
Just like you can have a player. Wait. Just like you can have players who have one season wonders where they play great across a period of season. These Arsenal players right now are playing great for a long period.
Who's having a purple patch? Who's having a purple patch? I've already mentioned.
I said a few players of Xhaka for one of them. Xhaka was horrible down and out, and all of a sudden he's playing amazing. I'm not saying.
You're making it seem like we have an 11 where 7 of them are having purple patches. That's not what's happening.
I never said 11. I said about 3 or 4 players, but you only need 3 or 4 players to do that for you.
I don't think we're having 3 or 4.
To be fair, Almiron, though, I think he just done him a disservice because Newcastle are so used to defending. Now they're going attacking. He doesn't have to run a full length of a pitch from doing a back 5 wing back situation. And also, you're seeing a proper Almiron, to be fair.
This is still the youngest team in the league with the youngest manager in the league, and they're both only improving. And you're looking at your aging squad, and you're saying, "Shit, we missed the opportunity." That's what's happening.
Two, 3, and 4 are the same. He says so. He believes I think means shit team were at the same level as Liverpool in the last year. Get out of here. Question: who's bottled it more, Arsenal or Evian? Is what Matthew's got to say. Spurs fans are deluded. Winning trophies is the next joke. Cullen here says Jesus may not be scoring, but he makes everyone around him better. He sets the tone for the team. He's also improved in amongst other things we do. Yeah, I think he's still playing very, very well. Glad to see how. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate the comment. Everyone's saying things like Jesus isn't scoring. Ha ha ha. He's a flop. It's not watching Arsenal or does not know how to analyze football. He isn't scoring right now, but he is absolutely key to the way we play both in and out of possession.
Similar to Firmino. To Firmino.
Exactly. And that's what I want to touch on, Kaz, because when Bobby Firmino done it, let's show at the start, once we started off, he was quite good. But up until this season, for a good number of years, I was being told he was overrated. He's an awful striker. He doesn't score enough goals, and it's going to cost you. And now what Gabriel Jesus is doing, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I just want the consistency because Firmino done that for 6 years.
Yeah,
literally, Tom.
No, but the thing is, though, with Firmino is, even with Jesus, I will say this: if Arsenal started to drop away and he wasn't scoring, certain fans would then look for problems. So I do get where you're coming.
It's not a problem until it is a problem. I generally think that.
That's a great way of rounding up what I said. You're right. Banter era over. Arsenal can win the league, is what David says. The ironic how a Spurs fan will go off history in regards to Arsenal, but yet they get defensive when people do it to them. Watch out for Kane to Chelsea. No more bad blood. Well, I don't know. How is a Spurs fan talking about history of Arsenal? There is a word for dropping off. It's Spursy. Our history is trophies. Yours is Arsenal winning trophies at your ground, is what Cullen says to you there. In speaking of Spurs as well, though, and Newcastle and Liverpool, they're the three that are really in the running for this top 4, according to most people. Most people think United won't do it. Newcastle are flying. They're 3rd in the league. Liverpool, though, 3 wins on the bounce. They're looking better. Darwin Noodle scoring. But Tottenham, George, you guys came from behind. It did look like it was going to be another one. I think everyone, including you, I've heard the rumor that in your drafts there was a Conte out tweet ready. I'm joking. But chat to me. You came back. You cemented that top 4 place up until Christmas. Talk to me.
I said it. I called it. You know what? Yeah, the 121. Can you do something for me? Everyone knows that line recently. Kulusevski's back, number 21. I told you he's going to make the difference. I told everyone. I literally said, you bring this guy back in our team, it's a whole different dynamic. The way we play changes, the way we set up changes, and this isn't no terrorist football. It's Conte doesn't have the right players. And you saw that over the weekend. Yes, defensively, we look to shambles. Without Romero in that back line, Emerson, Dyer, it's a bunch of bozos together. So it is sort of makeshift, and sometimes there's nothing that we can do. We're going to concede a lot of chances due to the lack of quality we have at the back. But going forward, we were free flowing. We broke leads down time and time again. We broke caught them on the counter time and time again, and we took control of the game. Kulusevski, we need to start talking about this guy being one of the best youngsters in the Premier League. He's on 5 assists. He's missed half of the season already. He's equaled half of the Premier Leagues on assists. Chance after chance, he's one of the best progressive ball carriers in the league at the moment, if you check the stats. And all this XG stuff, I know some people love an XG stat. I think someone added you in the tweet earlier today, Terry. Tottenham have the 3rd most highest XG this season of all teams in the Premier League. I don't even like stats like this, but it goes to show that this terrorist football team knows how to create football. We know how to attack teams, and we can really get at teams. So as I said, coming into the new year, we go into that new year 4th. We're comfy in our spot, and we're only going to improve. I see that once we get a team full back of no injuries, and Conte gets 1 or 2 more January improvements, this team is going to be dangerous, and this team is going to be someone to fit. And that's why when everyone talks about how Arsenal continue to get better, I know my team's going to continue to get better, and we're only going to pick it up. And it has been shaky these last couple of weeks, but this World Cup break came at a perfect time for us to just reset, get a few of our players back, and just start to manage on building on how we're going to take on that second part of the season. But yeah.
Okay, let me go.
What about the people's elbow, man? You ain't talked to me about that yet.
1 second, Kaz. What are you going to do
Go
now?
ahead.
The League Cup is gone. Are you going to win the FA Cup?
Yeah, bro. The pressure's on. Don't get me wrong. I was not happy with that performance. I didn't watch the game. I'll admit that.
The magic of the FA Cup.
I saw the highlight, but I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the way that we set out. I wasn't happy with the way that the performance went. And there's no excuses for it. Conte, there's no excuses for him for that performance. But all the pressure's on the FA Cup now. We're going to go to the FA Cup and we have to do the business.
Not winning the Champions League. It's all on the FA Cup. So once you get
wait, Egal, you're looking at me in this camera very slight, pointing the fingers and all these things. Are you going to win a trophy? Are you going to win the FA Cup this season?
One second.
Don't say no. Don't say. Are you going to?
Understand, when you speak about the FA Cup, you're talking about the 14-time FA Cup holders. So
it doesn't mean anything. Are you going to do it this season?
That's our trophy.
Are you going to do it this season?
Bro, we have bigger fish to fry. We're going for the league or the Europa League. We're going for one or the other. Let's see if we can get
League's big fish now.
We're going.
George, talk to me about the people's elbow on Meslier in that goal, man. Come on, he literally
wasn't a foul.
Look,
it wasn't a foul.
What
I saw is a few players just running. There were players looking at the ball and they tripped up.
Do you know what?
He looked like he got coming hard into the flipping goal, man.
You know what annoyed me about that goal? Like, I thought it was a foul personally, but do you know what annoyed me? I'm petty. If I was Leeds, on every corner, I'd be telling. If I was the manager, I'd be telling the player on every corner, you need to just push the goalkeeper, just push him, just do what they did. Just push the goalkeeper every time for a laugh. And then see whether it gets given. Probably would have lost the game anyway. But listen, I agree with what you're saying about the XG. You know, you guys can score goals. That's why I know Spurs fans are angry that you don't attack more. The issue has always been, though, the amount of goals that you concede. So yes, you're third or fourth best in the league in terms of creating good goal scoring opportunities, but you sit in terms of GA against, looking at you here, just going to put this all together here. You currently sit behind, you're sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on that list. Now, remember, contextualize this. You're a team that I think is going to make the top 4. Arsenal, XG for the entire season is 11. Okay. Yours for the entire season is 20. And that's where the issue lies for me. And I think it's funny, really, because this season I've had a lot of stick from a lot of Tottenham fans. And I've never really understood it because I predicted you getting into the top 4. I've said you're a very good team. I still think there's another level you can go to. I just think most Spurs fans have been unhappy with me because I've said Arsenal are better. But they're 8 points clear of you after 14 games. Their XG's better. Their XG against is better. So, like, stats that have been used today to prop them up. It just is what it is. You're having a very good season. Your best ever start after 14 games to a Premier League campaign. I don't think that can be denied or taken away from you. And you should be, just like you're kind of putting pressure on Arsenal, not making the top 4 with your quality and manager at the start that you've had would be very disappointing for you guys right now.
A massive failure.
The issue is not winning trophies as well. Like, remember Patrick said Spurs would finish ahead of Arsenal by 10 points. He did. I said the other way. I said Arsenal will finish the season 10 points in front of Tottenham. He said 10 points in front of Arsenal. It's very true. But yeah, look, I still look, when you guys came back, I thought that's what you're going to do. Because you're right, Kulusevski, I called it at the time. He was a better signing than Luis Diaz. So sometimes you lose out on a player, but it ends up being a good thing for you. Like Gabriel to Arsenal, very good signing for Arsenal. Now that we have Lisandro Martinez, I'm happy we didn't get him. That's not a dig at Gabriel. Gabriel's very good. The same as Luis Diaz is very good at Liverpool. But sometimes you miss out on someone. Like, we could have got Ronaldinho at Man United, but we ended up with Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, today, most people are probably angry about that. But history-wise, I was quite happy with what we ended up with, if that made sense. So these things happen. But yeah, you guys were very good. Liverpool, though. What are you saying, Tommy? What are you saying, Tommy boy? Because Spurs and Newcastle, who you've got to get. You've also got to overtake Man United as well. But you're looking a little bit better, looking a little more solid. I know that Alisson had to save you 3 or 4 times in the game, but what are you saying? Do you feel like a corner's been turned? Or is there still a lot of nerves that you won't make the top 4 this year?
I checked out, so I'm having to sort of check back into this season a little bit now that we've won 3 on the bounce. But I think it's all so dependent on this January window. This is papering over cracks, this form, because the same mistakes are still there, but we're just not getting punished for them. if we buy right in January, I give the midfield some legs, we'll be sound. We'll get top 4 easy because the attack is clicking. Once you get Diaz back, once you get Jota back, you've got one of the most exciting attacks in the league, one of the most informed front threes at the minute. You know, Bobby got his goal, Nunez got 2, he's looking class, Salah's just Mo Salah. You've got an attack there. The fullbacks, Robertson's been class. We're still yet to see anything from Trent this season, which is something that I'm waiting on, because when Trent, hopefully he clicks into form after the World Cup, light out, because he's got some assists to catch up on. We'll be sound if we buy. If we don't buy, this is the one worry with the whole sale going on. If FSG decide, no, we'll hold off on funding this just until we know what's happening. If we don't buy a midfielder in January, we won't get top 4. It's very simple. It's simple as that. We won't get top 4 because the defence is too exposed. We can get away with it for spells, i.e. 3-4 games, but eventually it comes back and bites you. And right now, a midfield 3 of Thiago Alcantara, who is making the most tackles, Fabinho, who is yet to make a tackle in 3 games, and Harvey Elliott, who is a 19-year-old winger playing centre mid, not the most physically imposing player. Our midfield just get ran through constantly. So unless we strengthen that, when we come up against, it's not even the big teams. We turn off the big teams. When we come up against bloody Nottingham Forest at home, I could see Nottingham Forest getting a point against us at Anfield because their midfielder just outwork us. That's what this season is entirely reliant on, buying a midfielder, and no ownership talk, no whatever's going on with sales or whatever. That should not stop this football club from buying a central midfielder. Be all end all.
Listen, no, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Terry disloyal. I don't know what you mean, bro.
I'm just going to say this
Disloyal
about
to who? Sorry, I just saw a comment. It threw me off. Some people write some weird stuff. Liverpool, yeah, go on. Sorry, go on, Gal. Go on, mate.
I wrote Liverpool off for no reason. I shouldn't have done that. I genuinely
You had every reason, Egal. You had every reason. You know what? You just got to enjoy the moment while it lasts.
I can't trust them. I can't trust them to get top 4. But in the same breath, I can't trust them to not get it because they could do something magical in the second half of the season. It's just this Liverpool team is you know you called me last time an enigma. That's what they are this season. They literally, you don't know what you're gonna get from Liverpool, and it's because of the injuries. It's because of the situations with Mane leaving and them trying to figure out their front 3. And Darwin Núñez, as much as we criticize him and make fun of him, he is starting to score goals, and it could be that he might not be a flop after all. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm not going to give him heaps of praises. I'm just going to say he's not a flop anymore.
This team's too good not to get top 4 as well, let's face it. But am I going to continue to ride this out for every single second I can? Of course I am.
That
I love
400K,
it.
that 400K a week homeless man does not get top 4. We're going to have some serious words at the end of the season.
I think it's the World Cup. I think it's the World Cup. Husam might be onto something, because some of these guys might be saving themselves for the World Cup, like Van Dijk. Because the guy has not been putting in all the effort that he used to be putting in. He wasn't having the best of games.
Told you at the start of the season, man. Virgil
Such an excuse,
Those
man.
legs are going.
No, but
I'm not having a fan whose club employs Eric Dyer try and chat to me about centre backs.
I'm sorry, but I don't know if you know, but Eric Dyer is not the king of our back 4. We have Christian Romero, the current king.
Who's just above average player. He's just a good player.
Yeah.
He's bringing the World Cup.
Hold on. Is Christian Romero the fella who's ducked? Is Christian Romero the fella who's ducked the last couple of games so we can go World Cup without an injury? Is that the same?
By the way, he played in a friendly as well. He played in a friendly as well yesterday, the other day, innit?
He don't even rate you. He don't even rate you. He wants to do Argentina before you.
He wasn't in the Argentina
team.
team.
Argentina where or Qatar side.
Lisandro Martinez is still playing for United. Your boy left.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually get
muscle
the
fatigue
truth
and
story,
wins.
But players like Romero, they play for injuries. So for majority of the season, he's
Clearly
been
not.
playing that, and he's not
Clearly
been 100%.
not.
So he's sat out for the last couple games to regain that fitness, and he's going to the World Cup because he needs to save himself because he's bringing it home. He's coming home with a medal. You can't say that about VVD. So
that's the only trophy Tottenham players get. International trophies. We know this. It's okay.
Tell Saliba to try and get a starting for his country.
Bro, Saliba's starting. They're playing a back 3. I don't know if you know.
Have I got a Tottenham fan flexing international starts for Argentina?
I don't know if you get this one, but we're in the World Cup season now. We're in World Cup season. You can
That's the
forget
only
about
thing
your
they
poor
celebrate
start
for
to the
Lloris.
season.
Don't
I know it's
forget.
hurting you, but it's World Cup time now.
By the way,
Aye, we
Eric
good over
Dyer,
here. We good
Eric
over
Dyer
here.
is Eric Dyer is probably one of your worst defenders this season. Him and
You're right.
Royale. So
You're right.
So I
What do you
don't know
mean?
how
At the
you
start of the
feel.
season, they were praising him like, oh, like he was the next best thing since sliced bread.
Oh yeah, I'm talking
Now
in
I
context
got-
of locked Eric Dyer.
Now I got Spurs fans fully saying Ben White.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys know, but we're allowed to change opinions, and when you
You
adapt
are,
your
you are,
opinion
yeah,
to
you
how
are.
you adapt your opinion to
You
how a
are.
player is playing. He started the season well, and he's been horrible.
Should
for like
adapt your
6
club
months.
as well at that point as well. Then.
I know you would know about that. You've got Norris scarf
Yeah.
behind you, so you've been.
Oh, here we go.
Did you ever think about being an Arsenal fan?
Wait, what? Did you ask me a question?
What?
Who are you asking that to?
Did you ever consider being an Arsenal fan? Your life would have been so much easier.
It might have been harder, to be fair.
Nah, I think it would have been much easier.
There's
Anyway,
no response.
I hear you on that. Right, some predictions. As we're kind of halfway through the season, we're having a break. Who's making the top four? What I want you to do this is, we know City and Arsenal in it. We're going to get to them later. Who's making the top four out of Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, United? It's going to be one of those five that take the last two of those five that take the last two positions. Who are you gentlemen going with as of right now? What's your predictions saying?
I really like Newcastle. I want to put them in there, but I just feel like they still don't have enough quality. So I'm going to go Tottenham and Liverpool.
I agree. Tottenham and Liverpool. Newcastle, no chance.
I'll tell you this for free. Man United are finishing above Tottenham this season, but I think Liverpool. I never said Liverpool coming out the top. So, but that doesn't mean I'm going to come fourth. It just means we're going fifth. But I got a feeling Chelsea will bring this around because they're going to spend in January, man. And I know they are. And something's going to click one way or another. They might end up fourth, maybe. But I'm not. You know what it is? I just don't want to put my club in the top four. But I think Liverpool still get somewhere in the top four with Arsenal, Man City. But that full spot is not going to Spurs.
Bro, when are you going to give up on Chelsea? Chelsea, there's no way.
I don't because the same way we threw a lot of teams under the bus at the start of the season, and the same way we've written off a lot of teams, it's the same breath I'm doing it now. Things can change because it's only 14 games. Things can change with a click of a finger. Remember, there's a World Cup, and then they got to resume.
Who's better right now? Newcastle or Chelsea?
Look, I'm not gonna come on here and start backing Potter just for me to say, you know what, they're gonna end up finishing 7th or 8th, bro. I still think this is Chelsea.
I get that. So who you again with, Tom?
I'm gonna go Liverpool, and I'm gonna be the only one. I'm gonna back Newcastle. I think for the argument that Chelsea will spend, Newcastle buy, and they don't actually need to buy all that much. They're another team that's high on confidence, and that's not going to change post World Cup. They're just going to keep riding this wave, and it might just take them far enough. And I think it will take them far enough.
Let me ask you guys this: who's the furthest off top four? If you guys are saying Man United are fine, but
we got a game in hand, by the way. I'm just letting you know that for free.
When you say
against Leeds,
go on, Egal.
Who do you think out of the list of teams that you named will finish the furthest away from top four?
Chelsea right now. I disagree with Kaz. I think Chelsea look the most disjointed. There's no performances. There's no work rate. Man United have looked good in a lot of games. Not against Fulham in the second half, but you can argue we should have been 3-0 up before half time. So yeah, I think United. I think United will now finish in front of Chelsea. My top four. I haven't changed my mind. I'm going with Tottenham third and Liverpool fourth, rather than Liverpool fourth and third, that way around. But yeah, I haven't changed my mind on Spurs top four still, and Liverpool I think you'll spend and be okay. Newcastle I think they'll just miss out when it comes to the business end of the season. However, they have no European football, and that could be a real factor. And I just slightly disagree with George when he said they've got no chance. I think they'll be pipped by a point or two. I think they'll be right on the edge of making it. In terms of next question, just final question. Who is winning the league? Anyone change their minds on who's winning the league?
Just before we say who's going to win the league, I just want to say, don't be surprised if Chelsea finish like outside of Europe completely. I
get that. Who's winning the league, people? Who is winning the league? Anyone change their minds?
He lives in Manchester.
See.
Do I say Arsenal? Do I say Arsenal?
No one's going to say Arsenal.
I mean, that's your team. Can you not say it, Egal?
I might say Arsenal purely for the fact that I think Man City look incredibly toothless without Haaland. if Haaland's not in that team, they look lost at times. So I might just go Arsenal based on the fact that the drop from Jesus to Nketiah isn't as drastic as Haaland to Alvarez. And
Alvarez
that
is
might
better
just
than
give me
Nketiah,
odds.
bro.
So, you know what, I'll do it.
Alvarez is
Arsenal,
much
don't
better
let
than
me down.
Nketiah.
Egal, it's on you. Do not let me down.
Did you just hear that? The same guys that
I've
even
never
Arsenal
seen
fans don't
someone
want.
so
Yeah, Alvarez is a lot
entitled
better than
for
Nketiah.
putting pressure on their team.
It's way better than Nketiah.
Right, Kaz, did I say Nketiah is better than Alvarez? Did
I thought
I
you just
say
said
Nketiah?
I thought you said the drop isn't. I
off from
thought you just said the
Jesus
drop
to
isn't as
Nketiah.
bad. I see what you're doing. You're doing the play on words like that. Okay, you're doing it like that. I hear you.
The drop from Jesus to Nketiah isn't as. Yeah. Alvarez is much better than Nketiah, but the drop from Jesus to Nketiah is not as big as Haaland to Alvarez.
Oh. At this moment, Man City are still the favorites, and that's the reality.
That isn't my question. Is who are you predicting to win it? That's the question. We're gonna get an actual straight answer from you, Egal.
Who am I predicting to win?
This isn't politics. You don't need to hide. No one's gonna kill you if you get it wrong. Put
I'm
the
not
pressure
gonna lie
on
to
the team,
you.
Egal.
Let me give you guys my honest truth. I genuinely, from heart of hearts, want to say Arsenal, but I just feel like Man City are just that good of a team that they'll find a way to beat us to the title. That is my honest truth, right?
I hear
How am I backing Arsenal more than you?
I want to back my boys. I want to back my boys so bad, but I just know that
So
it's going to be different.
Back your boys.
So your prediction is City to win the league or Arsenal?
My prediction is City to win the league, but I hope Arsenal can pull it through.
Of course, you hope Arsenal can do it. My prediction of who's going to win the league tomorrow, 3 p.m. on the Football Terrace. Make sure you are tuning in. I was going to drop the video today.
Come on, Terry, say Arsenal.
The video was going to drop today, but the Ronaldo video I put out was doing too much numbers, so it wouldn't get seen by anyone. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Keep your eyes out for that as well. In the morning as well, I'm doing a bit of a video because I want to say a big thank you to everyone as well. I haven't even replied to all the WhatsApp messages. Most of the guys are in a group chat with me, but a lot of messages over Saturday with situations. I had another little scare last night as well, so I am going through it a little bit with my health at the minute, but I'm going to detail that to you guys tomorrow because I know a lot of you have sent out messages and it's hard to reply to everyone. So I'm just going to put out a little thing thanking you all for your kind words. It's meant a lot in the last day or so. Before you leave, people, make sure you're smashing. We'll be doing World Cup previews later in the week. Don't you worry about that. And a lot of us are going to be together at the Football Content Awards on Wednesday, so we might film a little something when we're up there. Lots of us are going to be together for that. David here says Arsenal, City, Spurs, United. Do you know what? Right now, Man United can't win the league, so I'd love that. I would love that. 1, Liverpool not in the Champions League. 2, no three-peat for City. 4, Man United in the Champions League. That would honestly be from this
5 sitting below Tottenham.
Perfect. Listen, I don't for 3rd and 4th for the same minute, bro. Hey!
You got me there.
You see what I said, guys? You let it marinate. You don't just go in for the kill the whole time. You wait, and you'll see a moment. You strike. I've only been doing this for 10 years. I ain't joking. The US and Iran will make it out of the group at the World Cup. Yeah, maybe they will. The irony of that's funny as well, reading it. A question to it's Jordan to George. That's what we're going to call you now, George. How many goals has Richarlison scored this season in the Prem?
He's got 0, and if you want to call him a flop, take that up with him. I'm champion. I champion Kulu over here.
Egal, bring in the narrative that we have a bigger fish to fry. You cannot, and we will not be allowed to say this every time. Too easy of a way out for Egal is what's been said there. Tesco's Drake said Arsenal don't have players who know how to win titles. Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko alone have won more than Spurs' entire history as a football club. Sorry for the late chat. Barely catching up on the don't hype the kid too early. Ask Egal what he thinks of his fan base on Ethan. Is it Wanwira?
That's the kid that got
Bro, we've seen a minute of the guy. We've seen 1 minute.
And you gassed him up.
No one gassed up a 16-year-old.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Goals dry up. The NR9. Who's NR9? Has to take responsibility until that moment.
Number 9. I think he means
number 9. Let's see if he can be a clutch player for Arsenal, and he very well could be. I've got a few more super chats here. Dinesh says Liverpool are catching Tottenham and going to finish above Tottenham won the league on black and white TV. Now Ultra HD TV still not won a big trophy. And
It
Chris
burns, innit, George?
Spurs fan in the shower cap. Wide deflect. Arsenal set out to make top 4 and are overachieving. Spurs need to win a trophy, bro. Be well, Big Tell. Thank you very much, Chris. I want to say as well, before the end of the show, Arsenal to win, believe, Egal, just believe. I also want to say a big shout out to a member of the Football Terrace, Jesse Dyer, legend and superfan member, phoned into shows, regular super chatter. Received some really devastating news last night that at the early part of last week, he tragically passed away in his sleep. So I just wanted to say a big, send out big condolences to his family, his father, and all these loved ones. Big loss. I know a lot of the guys in the Legends and Superfan group chat spoke to him regularly. Some are actually planning a trip to go to the States to see him. So just want to send on my sincere condolences and heartfelt wishes to his family after hearing about that very, very tragic news indeed. And I know KJ, he was a regular of Midnight Vibes and Lowe's show for many, many months, didn't he?
Yeah, he would literally be one of the first people to comment, first people to super chat on the show, first people to always say when's the next episode, first person to smash the like button. Honestly, the fact that he's gone is kind of weird to take in, knowing that he was always there, part of a show that I hosted, and I knew he was going to be there every week commenting and having his say, and getting to talk to him on streams as well. He was just a wonderful young man, really kind. He was here to have good vibes and have good fun with all of us here. And yeah, rest in peace to Jesse, and congratulations to his family. And yeah, may you continue to live up the vibes and wherever you are, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. The Terrace, we really do take, care a lot about our viewers. Sometimes I have to interject in front of these gentlemen's chat just to make sure I can read out their comments, because I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody. And Jesse was one of the very, very early viewers when my live streams had 10, 15, 20 people watching them. And, now, 4.5 million people a month tuning in, which is just astronomical. So, yeah, very, very, very sad news about him. Viewers, listen, big respect to each and every single one of you. Genuinely, mean it from the bottom of my heart. Back tomorrow with more content for you throughout the course. Me and Lee Gunner live in the evening, so very much looking forward to streaming with him. Make sure you hit the like and the share button before you leave today. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon. Welcome back to the NordVPN Top 6 show. Our title sponsors are the very best in the business of protecting you, your personal information, your identity, and financial details online. Protect yourself against hackers, protect yourself against your data being sold by the big tech and corporate companies as well. All the links to sign up are in our description below. But there are some added benefits to using a VPN, some amazing discounts that you can create for yourself online. Just like being able to live stream legally Premier League football at a fraction of the cost you do when subscribing to the traditional television packages. Companies such as Peacock in the United States of America offer all the games, including 3 p.m. kickoffs, from as little as $4.99 per month. There are options across Europe as well, including Setanta Sports out of Moldova, that allow you all the Premier League games, plus multiple other sports, including the NFL, the UFC, and much, much more for just $2.99 per month. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself signed up now with our exclusive offer. The link for all the information is in our description below, or you can scan the QR code upon the screen now. But enjoy the show. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.